swinging away and socks this to deep left field. That is gone! Bryson Harper.
Where's it? Pulse with the ball. It's a chest high step. He looks down the middle of the field. He's going to throw the run. Intercepted, taking it down the far sideline. He steps out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. And that's how you cap the game up. Jabril White called game on his third interception of the evening.
Sierra Smith quickly worked around, feeding the hot hand. Jasmine got it! 3 threes for number 23.
He finds Edwards. Edwards needs to get the shot up. Pulls up a deep three. Able to knock it down.
The counter attack. Here comes Carla Ramos forward, looking for Noelle Lemus. She's gotten by the last defender. Now she comes down. Noelle drills the keeper. Lemus. And that is a DVC victory. And the Vikings are champions of California.
And we are live here on DVC Vikings Live. DVC basketball, a doubleheader coming your way from the DVC Palladium on Steve Coach Emilio Court. My name's Max DeGrasse, joined alongside Ryan Shell. And like I just mentioned just a moment ago, we've got our doubleheaders as Big 8 play continues. That's what we do. It'll switch up throughout the year, but for the first half of Big 8 play, the women will play first and the men will play second. And then towards the latter part, it'll switch up a little bit like that. So we've got a fun matchup today between the Falcons of Folsom Lake College and the Vikings of Diablo Valley College. This Falcons team comes in led by Ali Mollett in her 6th year. And man, this is a team coming with a lot of momentum. Number 9th ranked team in NorCal, the number 16th ranked team in the state. And they just took down San Joaquin Delta, the number 4 team in the state, the number 2 team in NorCal. And they did it by a margin of 21.
Yeah, they're really amazing shooters, and that's going to be one of the keys to the game for DVC today is to play with aggression, to close out on these shooters, and try to force them to take harder shots, more difficult shots, maybe not the open shots that allowed them to get that 21-point victory.
Yeah, and in that game, it was tight throughout the first quarter. It was 11-10 for Folsom Lake College throughout the first quarter, and in the second quarter, Emily Coe just started going off. She had a 4-point play that really pushed the momentum for Folsom Lake College at the 6-minute mark, and then that pressure from the three-pointers dropping. And then Delta's shooting was just spotty all night long, and that really resulted to the big lead that they accrued in that third quarter. It was a 28-13 third quarter, and from there, Delta just didn't have enough time on the clock to really fight back. Folsom Lake kept pushing. Their bigs couldn't handle Harrison inside, and it was a huge victory for the Falcons. We'll give you the starters for them with about 2 minutes and 30 seconds before tip-off, so yeah, we'll get starters right over there. Emily Cole will be starting at one guard, the sophomore 5'5" guard out of Elk Grove, California. She's one of the best 3-point shooters, shooting 36% on the year. She's also leading the team in steals at 33 steals on the year. At another guard, it'll be the sophomore 5'8" guard out of San Jose, California, number 10, Alyssa Lopez. Lopez, one of the leading scorers on this team, 14.2 points per game. She's come out a 19-point performance. Last game, didn't have that much success against DVC, only 7 points, didn't make a 3-point shot, so she'll be looking to really assert herself in this matchup today. At guard/forward, it'll be a freshman 5'8" out of Carmichael, California, number 11, Jordan Weaver. She is a player that can really be plugged in, hit some outside shots, but really just one of those rotational pieces that will do a pretty good job for this Folsom Lake team. Number 20, the star of the team, Corey Harrison, the sophomore forward out of Rancho Cordova, the 5'10" player, averages a double-double on the year, 17.2 per game, 10.2 per game, but last year against DVC didn't really have the success that she's seen on the year. 11.5 points per game and 8 rebounds per game. Still a good stat line, but expect Sky Parker to really give it all to her tonight. And last but not least, the sophomore forward, 5'9", out of Fair Oaks, California, number 23, Ashley Briggs. A big player inside, can really play nicely in the post. Got injured early on in that second matchup against DVC, and expected to really just use her size and really put on some physical presence for Folsom Lake. On the other side for the Vikings, they come in 11-2 off of a 4-game winning streak led by third-year head coach Casey Waters and second-year assistant coach Sam Garski. The Vikings have their starters. It's the same lineup we've seen all year long. The 5'4" sophomore point guard out of Las Lomas High, Izzy De La Cruz. She will be the main point guard for the Vikings. Second in the state in assist and 8th in the state in assist and turnover. She's been dishing it so well all year long. Lexi LaPerry, the shooting guard, 5'7" sophomore out of Alhambra High School. She will be the 2 guard for the Vikings. A little bit of a slow start for her this year. 31% from the field, 21% from the from the three-point line, but leads the team or second on the team in steals, I should say, and has been doing a really good job earning her trips to the free throw line. 81% from the line. That is 14th in the state. She's giving you 11.3 and 4.3. I mean, not bad margins by any sort of way, but expect her to really get her game going on defense. I mean, she was averaging 8 rebounds a game in that first roundabout last year against Folsom Lake, averages 13 points per game. But this was really the game that sparked her off and let her get it going in that second part of the season before she broke her hand against American River College. This was the game that pushed her forward and really showed us who Lexi Perry could be as a scorer. So I expect to see a lot of rebounding and a lot of shooting dropping for Lexi Perry tonight. At a shooting guard / forward, it'll be Tegan Gaines. So Gaines, one of the tallest players on the team at 5'10". I expect her to go inside and play a lot of the post as well. She's averaging 12.8 points per game, 6 rebounds per game. And I mean, these last few days have been huge for her health. Really working off a back, working off a bad knee. A lot of this time off. Coach Garski before the game was talking to me saying, hey, this is the best she has looked since the beginning of the year. She's healthy, she's ready to come in, and she's going to have her hands full against Corey Harrison and the other bigs inside. At another forward, it'll be Tamana Sharifi. Honestly, she's listed as a forward, but put an athlete there. She can play 2 through 5. Sharifi's been so big for the Vikings this year. She is, I believe, second in the state in terms of three-point shooting percentage, 15 for 30 from beyond the arc. So she doesn't take too many of those threes, but when she does, man, she can let it fly. Averages 10.3 points per game, 7.7 assists, or rebounds per game. Was the leading rebounder for the Vikings for a while. That was until Sky Parker really found her groove. The sophomore power forward, 5'7", out of Alhambra High School, number 32. I mean, just been on some monster games. 5 double-doubles on the year, coming off a 20 and 15 performance against Sacramento City College. 12.1 points per game, 8.9 rebounds per game. I expect her to really get into that double-double territory in terms of her averages on the year. And she averaged a double-double against Folsom Lake College last time around, so I expect to see a lot out of her tonight. And it's going to really be dictated by the officials. I think the Vikings are going to try to play an inside-out game and really show off their physicality early on. And we'll take it to the floor now. Vikings in their home grays. It'll be gray uniforms, gray tops and bottoms with the green trim, green numerals in the green and white trim, I should say. And on the other side, Folsom Lake College, the number 9 team in NorCal, will be coming out in their road blacks, black tops, black bottoms with the white numerals and the teal trim. So as we take the middle of the floor, Tegan Gaines versus Corey Harrison. Let's get it going here from midcourt. Ball's thrown up, it's tipped. Both the players miss the tip, and they'll redo it. Tegan with a little wry smirk as Corey Harrison's laughing. And let's do it again. Tip is up, and it's won by Folsom Lake College, going straight to the hole early on, and the first shot goes to number 10, Alyssa Lopez. Ran the floor off the tip, and the Vikings trailed 2-0 at the 9:50 mark. Izzy De La Cruz lobs inside over to Sharifi. Sharifi inside of the post, dribbles with the right hand, goes up with the right-handed shot, left it short, rebound brought in by Alyssa Lopez. Sprinting quickly down the floor, Vikings unable to put on the pressure here off the missed shot. Emily Coe with the handoff. It's over to Ashley Briggs, and Briggs goes off the left side of the lane. The ball's tipped out, brought in, offensive rebound by Coe. Hands in the shooting lanes, or in the passing lanes, I should say, and Tegan Gaines tries to save it, but the ball will stay with Folsom Lake.
You can really tell the pace of the game is very high right now, and DVC has to kind of combat that and try and effectively execute their offense during the pace increase.
Yeah, expect the Vikings to bring the paces. Folsom Lake doesn't really press. The inbounds pass goes over to Ashley Briggs now, and Briggs tries to feed it underneath to Harrison. The ball will go off her fingertips, and that's something we've seen a few different times in the last game against San Joaquin Delta. In the first half, they kept trying to feed the big, and the entry passes were a little bit off, and in that second half, she started to find her groove and really take a toll on the bigs of Delta. Left wing now for De La Cruz. Defers the screen, passes over to the left wing. It's over to Hendrich. As our Tegan Gaines, I should say, as Gaines will methodically move to the top of the key. 13 seconds left on the shot clock. Tamana back to the basket, spins around, left wing, it's over LaPerry, gets to the baseline, over to Parker. Parker, the pop shot out, just about 12 feet away from the basket. Vikings unable to get a basket throughout the first minute of play. Ashley Briggs trying to work her way inside, gets the Offensive rebound off her own miss. Misses the second one. Another over by Corey Harrison. And now an opportunity for Lopez to cut. Lopez to Weaver. Back over to Coe. Coe down the left side of the lane. Tries to work the left side of the glass. No good. Another O board. No good. Finally, the rebound for Tegan Gaines. You can't have that. 3-4 opportunities at the ball. LaPerry from the corner now. Vikings needing an answer. 1 minute, 40-second drought up to this point. Haven't scored yet in the game. The ball's tipped off the fingertips of Sharifi. And the pressure in the half court is going very well for the Falcons throughout the first 2 minutes of play.
Yeah, they're able to disrupt DVC's motion offense, and DVC turned the ball over because of it.
Yeah, the ball was tipped and then off the fingertips of Sharifi. And now Coe down the middle of the floor. Harrison over to Weaver, and now Coe from the left wing. Darte checks in for the first time, and Darte strikes a three-point shot. 5-0 lead for the Falcons of Folsom Lake throughout the first 2 minutes. Izzy De La Cruz got her nose busted up in that Santa Monica game, so she's wearing the mask and pulls up from the left elbow extended, and Izzy's shot is true. The first points for the Vikings come off a 16-foot jump shot. Vikings finally able to elect their pressure here. 6 seconds to break the timeline. It's over to Darte, and Darte crosses the timeline with 2 seconds remaining. Darte to Coe, and now it's an open Harrison and a travel. This is something we've seen in that last game as well, as Grace Oakley will check in, replacing Sharifi. Corey Harrison, when you feed it to her on the outside, she a little too much cha-cha a lot of the times while she tries to go down the floor, so more of a post-entry type of player. So maybe the Vikings have seen that and allowing her to take that ball and possibly turn the ball over in that similar fashion. De La Cruz working right to left, the right-handed dribble over to Oakley. Oakley coming off her career-high 17 points against Sacramento City College. LaPerry inside, Gaines goes inside, right-handed shot, point-blank range, high rebound, corralled in by Harrison. Vikings get a steal. It's De La Cruz. De La Cruz trying to push ahead. Vikings have a one-woman advantage here. LaPerry doesn't settle for the three. Instead, cross-court pass tipped off the fingertips of Sky Parker. Out of bounds. Sky Parker took a tumble at the end of the play. Fortunate she was able to get up on with no issue. Something to note for Sky Parker, no knee brace on. She had those knee issues that troubled her throughout her freshman season. So it's good to see her. No tape, no knee, nothing. Just being able to play in her own free will. 20 seconds left on the shot clock, and the ball will actually be off of Folsom Lake, so the Vikings will inbound it from the right side of the baseline. De La Cruz underneath, throws it off the back of the defender, and the ball goes off of bounds, and it was last touched by De La Cruz. Heads up play by De La Cruz, though. Coe had her back to the basket, and De La Cruz tried to pull a trick at her own hat.
Yeah, really crafty play right there. Too bad it was off of her at the end of the day.
Harrison breaks the press over to Lopez. Lopez cutting straight to the hole. Right-handed shot, same as the first, and Lopez has 4 points now.
Yeah, it seems like no matter what basket happens for DVC, it's a transition look for Folsom Lake.
Tegan Gaines, left wing splash. Vikings putting on the pressure now. The pressure is looking a little bit different. Instead of Izzy De La Cruz handling the ball handler, she's in that back line trying to play a little bit of that free safety look. And it's a 5-4 game as Gaines had the switch with Coe, and the long outstretched limbs of Gaines knocks it out of bounds.
DVC really playing the passing lanes well there, and the rest of the game they've been trying to disrupt Folsom Lake's passes.
Sky Parker going over the trainer's table as she gets some assistance here. She was able to run off on her own power, maybe just taping it up, so Henrich is into the game for the first time for the Vikings. Right side baseline, it's over to Morgan Klein, who comes in for the first time. Now Darte, and it's a 2-1 game. Left wing now for Darte. Darte, 2 for 2. Gotta watch out for her outside shooting. Only a 33% three-point shooter. But between Coe, Darte, and Weaver, they take 72% of the three-point shots. Right side of the top of the key, De La Cruz misses it, tracks down the far rebound for Harrison, and Vikings have to drop back into their half-court defense now. 5-point lead for the Falcons at the 54-minute mark. Coe to Weaver, ball overhead. Coe from outside of the top of the key, threads it inside, low block right, it's Harrison, and that's Harrison's game right there. She gets her first basket, averages 17.2 points per game, but Harrison, when you get her that entry pass, especially on the right block, she will make you pay. Skylar Henrich tries to go to the left block, and Henrich's first shot is good. It's a great sign to see. When Henrich gets her first shot to drop, you can really feel the confidence being gained. And the Vikings force the second turnover here. Another steal by De La Cruz. Henrich calling for the ball. Instead, it's Gaines going up with the scoop shot. No good with it. Darte with the rebound. Vikings are getting good looks, but just not knocking them down right now. But you'll take every single opportunity in this situation. Harrison over to Coe. Now Klein. Right wing for Darte. Spins around from the right elbow extended. Ball's nearly stolen away. Klein cutting to the hole. 8 seconds left. It's Coe. Coe has yet to take a three-point shot yet. Behind the back dribble. Loses the ball. Lexi LaPerry with the steal. Vikings pushing ahead down the near sideline. Spinning around inside the left wing. Right-handed awkward shot. Lexi LaPerry might have forced that shot up. And the save made by Jaden Weaver. Another opportunity to get a clean look, and the Vikings unable to do so here. And a turnover. Nope. Last touch by the Vikings, and the officials might have missed a call there.
Yeah, it was good transition defense by the Vikings. They made the Folsom Lake stop the ball and try and make a pass to get it to the guard, but the guard was being defended, so they passed it out of bounds.
5 on the floor for the Falcons. It's Alyssa Lopez joined alongside Morgan Klein. Ashley Briggs checks back in. Jaden Weaver in the last one on the floor. Livy Fernandez getting her first playing time of the game. Right in front of head coach Casey Waters for the Vikings. It'll be Klein to inbound it. Lopez with 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Over to Ashley Briggs, lobs inside. It's Lopez once more, same exact spot, same exact outcome. 3 for 3 from the floor for the sophomore guard out of San Jose, California. And it's a 7-14 lead for the Falcons. De La Cruz tries to answer, gets the contact, and will earn a trip to the free throw line. De La Cruz has not necessarily been scoring the most, as we've seen averaging 12.3 points per game, only 6 points in Big 8 play so far, but man, she's been lighting it up in the assist chart. Unfortunately, we don't have tracked assists until the end of the game, but 9 assists in that first to 0 turnovers. She has been handling it to perfection. And now the 63% free throw shooter will fire away the first. Back of the iron and a miss. 5 on the floor for the Vikings. It'll be Oakley LaPerry. De La Cruz Sharifi comes back in alongside Sky Parker. So Parker able to come back very quickly after getting a little bit of work from the training table. Harrison to the scores table, and they'll say she has to wait one more moment for the second free throw by De La Cruz. Second free throw up and in. 1 for 2 on the trip and 3 points for De La Cruz, making it a 14-18 game at the 409-minute mark. Weaver will come out, and so the 2 big women look inside as Harrison and Briggs are on the floor. Briggs to Klein, 4 seconds to break, able to do so, breaks the timeline at that mark, but the Vikings pressure stayed heavy on the ball, and now a baseline inbounds for the Falcons at the 3:58-minute mark. Klein handling all the inbounding duties in the last couple of minutes here. Whips it over to the right wing. Fernandez over to Briggs, and now rotation back over to Klein from the corner. Going to the left block this time for Corey Harrison. Harrison, cross-court pass over to Fernandez, and the cutting Fernandez was left wide open as the Vikings doubled Harrison underneath. And Livy Fernandez comes in and gets her first basket. Right wing triple. It goes long, and LaPerry gets the rebound. And now the Vikings, with 26 seconds, will take a deep breath. Trailing by 8 here early on in the first quarter. Vikings pressure hasn't been able to really break down Folsom Lake despite getting a few turnovers early on. Entry pass over to Sharifi, and Sharifi has her ball blocked away. The size of Ashley Briggs being able to shake ahead and get that block. Gains back to the scorer's table as Lopez will dribble down the middle of the floor. Right-handed shot swirls out this time around. Didn't get the assist from the glass, and she misses her first shot. Still an 8-point lead for the Falcons. De La Cruz from the top of the key. Dribbles down the left side of the lane. No look pass is stolen away by Briggs. Ashley Briggs trying to push the pack. It's a 1-on-2. Spins around, has the ball knocked away and stolen. It's Grace Oakley getting extended minutes here. Lobbing ahead, and a very perfect pass over to Sky Parker. Sky Parker ran the floor. The Vikings saw her. Nobody else did. And the Vikings cut it down to 6. 16-10 here at the 2:30-minute mark. And Alyssa Lopez holds the hand over the head to make the call from the edge of the DVC Vikings midcourt logo. Entry pass knocked away. The size of Harrison, able to knock it back into the hands of Lopez now. Now Harrison from the low block. And that's just easy money. You get the switch with the smaller guard, and Harrison's got 4 in the first quarter with 2 minutes to play.
Yeah, Harrison with a strong rip-through move right there was able to get to the basket and use the glass for the layup.
Parker from the low block right. Parker gets the shot to drop, and one. Lopez picked up the first foul for Folsom Lake. And the second one will go against Lopez as well.
Yeah, that was a really good pass there from De La Cruz, entry into the lane, and Sky Parker was able to finish with the floater.
And look at it now, 4 fouls against Folsom Lake to the 0 of the Vikings. So the Vikings in the last couple minutes could possibly go ahead. I think they fixed it up. I think there was only 3 fouls. I was going to say the Vikings could send it into the bonus, but in this situation, with about 3, 4, 5 possessions left, I don't see the same. Parker to the free throw line. Too strong, but Sharifi tries to get the offensive board, and instead, it's Kalia Corley getting the rebound. Corley hasn't really played much. This might actually be her first game of the year, the freshman guard from Reno, Nevada. Ashley Briggs has the ball knocked away, and Izzy De La Cruz, the steal, the left-handed shot. De La Cruz, coast to coast. Vikings cut it down to a 4-point lead now at the 135-minute mark, 18-14. Back-to-back baskets by the Vikings. LaPerry playing heavy on the ball against Coe. Briggs from the right wing. Over to the top of the key now for Darte. Darte has the ball knocked away. Now it's Briggs. Briggs to the right wing. Kalia Corley tries to swing it over to the left wing to her teammate, and a travel called against Folsom Lake. So the Vikings with an opportunity to possibly get one more basket and see if they can tie it up or even take the lead going into the second quarter. A half that was heavily dominated by the Folsom Lake Falcons in the early going. The Vikings have continued to churn away, and they're sitting in a pretty decent position here. De La Cruz spins around from the right wing. De La Cruz from the low block right. De La Cruz is on fire. 7 points in this early going. She's the leading scorer of the game with just 9 minutes played in the first quarter.
De La Cruz did a great job realizing the overplay from the defense and was able to take it to the rack and finish.
Yeah, it looked like nearly a double team, but she still fought through and got that good-looking shot. Down the left side of the wing, Harrison has to earn the trip from the free throw line as De La Cruz will pick up her first foul. You know, hate to see it. Harrison, a 65% free throw shooter. She had a strong move inside. Force her.
Yeah. Make her make 2 shots at the free throw line.
Mm-hmm. So at the 38.3 second mark, Vikings trailing by 2 here. And the first free throw curls out. Corey Harrison, 77.8% in the 2 games throughout Big 8 play. And those numbers will drop ever so slightly with that first miss. Second one, finds the bottom of the net. She's got 5 points now, and it's 19-16. So about a 7-second shot clock, game clock difference here. And the Vikings will walk it up the floor with De La Cruz. De La Cruz working past the screen from Sharifi. Gets some open space. Whips it over to the right wing. It's LaPerry. Middle of the lane. Now Gaines has it. Entry pass over to Sky Parker. Sky Parker rips through Sky Parker. The strong move inside, and Parker's got 4. 10 seconds left to shoot now for Folsom Lake. Right-handed dribble for Coe. 3 seconds left. Gets the crossover. Gets the switch. Spins inside. Goes up right elbow. Front of the iron. Miss. Coe held off the scoreboard throughout the first 10 minutes of play. And we've got a fun one here throughout 10 minutes. 19-18 the score as the Falcons, the number 9 team in NorCal, the number 16 team in the state, have the advantage over the Vikings. But the Vikings have really fought hard to overcome an 8-point deficit, cut it down to 7. And that'll send us to our first time out here on DVC Vikings Live. 19-18 our score here with the fresh clock in the second quarter. A fun one throughout the first 10 minutes of play. And two of the top teams in NorCal fighting ahead. Vikings trying to get to 2-0 in Big 8 play. And Folsom Lake trying to get to 2-1 after a massive 21-point victory against San Joaquin Delta College. And the Vikings' pressure has been there. They forced a few turnovers, but let's see if they can capitalize a little bit more on it going into the second quarter. They'll start with the ball as the inbounds pass from LaPerry over to De La Cruz. Back to LaPerry now. Sharifi reverses the polarity of the screen. Now De La Cruz cutting down the right side of the wing. It's Gaines. Gaines powering inside. Gaines no good on the shot. And a travel in the process.
Travel charge to the Vikings.
Gaines, one of the two tallest players on the floor. She's 5'10" alongside Corey Harrison's 5'10", so expect to see her try to utilize that size inside of the post. 5 seconds left to get it across the midcourt stripe. Harrison lobs it over the top, and Darte able to break the line. Out over to the corner. It's missed by Weaver. Offensive rebound, another opportunity for Darte, and instead she flips it back over to Kalia Corley. Entry pass into the low block right. And just willed that shot over was Corey Harrison. Had it flat, but put enough power to really fling it over the top. And it's a 3-point game now. Vikings trying to answer with the post move of their own. And a travel. A little too much of that pirouette on the floor. Sky Parker called for the turnover.
They actually may have got her for the chicken wing right there on the post-up.
Yeah, and
foul.
I think you're absolutely right, as the first foul will be pinned up against Sky Parker. Pressure has been sent, but Folsom Lake doing a terrific job. You expect that after what they were able to do against Delta College. And now the first basket of the year for Kalia Corley. And she's got 2 points, extending the lead to 5 now with under 9 minutes to play in the second quarter. De La Cruz with the mask on. Over to the left wing. Gaines, who hit a 3 early on, will fire away from deep NBA range, a little too strong, tracked down by Weaver. Coe over to Weaver, 25 seconds left, Darte left all alone, Vikings unable to get back on defense, and if you leave Darte tonight, she will knock down the 3. 9 points, she's 3 for 3 from beyond the arc, and will force the first timeout out of the pocket of the Vikings. 26-18, an 8-point lead after a 1-point deficit at the half, so the Vikings needing to get things tightened up, maybe change up that press a little bit so they can really put that pressure against the Falcons team on DVC Vikings Live. (26-18) the score here at the 8:27 mark. And as interim head coach Austin Corrali coming to support the girls team tonight. Earlier today, I saw Joey Aguilar, the star quarterback for Appalachian State, coming back and paying his dues here to where he really paved his foundation at DVC. So good to see a lot of the community coming together here during the break. De La Cruz with 20 seconds left. Over to Hendricks, who comes back in the game. It's Hendricks, LaPerry, Sky Parker, Gaines, and De La Cruz, and a miscommunication between Henrich and De La Cruz will result in a turnover, and that was an unforced turnover. Can't have too many of those if you expect to beat the number 9 team in NorCal.
Especially with the way they're shooting today.
Yeah, they are knocking it down from deep. Darte elects to pass inside instead of going it for outside. Gets the ball back, and she stepped out of bounds. It was a missed shot, but this is something to factor in. The court here, a little bit strange. The black line on the sideline is the out of bounds, but a lot of people think it's the green, so we've seen this foul quite a few different times here on Steve Coach Emilio Court. It's still an 8-point lead. De La Cruz trying to operate from the left wing, and a shove will send Tegan Gaines to her rear end. It'll be the first foul against Corley. First foul on her, first team foul here in the second quarter, and the Vikings inbounding it from just in front of us. Sky Parker knocked down to the ground. It opens up enough space for De La Cruz to hit a 15-foot jumper, misses that. And I don't see who got the board, but I believe it was Henrich underneath who misses the putback. Now an opportunity for Ko down the middle of the floor. Ko from the right elbow. Back over to Corley, and Corley stops her dribble, having to shovel it off to Weaver, and now an open look once more for Darte. Darte, too strong on the attempt. The Bulls fighting for the ball in the air. It was a couple different players. It was about 3 or 4 different Vikings players inside, and it went off of bounds off of a Folsom Lake player. Grace Oakley replacing Sky Parker now.
It looked like DVC was in a bit of a 2-3 zone there, so it's kind of offset the shooting of Folsom Lake, but it puts a lot of pressure on the 2 guards up top to close out on the shooters.
Absolutely. LaPerry from the top of the key, behind the back with her dribble. Over to Oakley, and now Sharifi. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Sharifi with the right-handed dribble, backs away. Sharifi over to Grace Oakley, 10 seconds left on the shot clock. De La Cruz gets a screen. Now it's to the right wing. It's Grace Oakley driving the baseline. Grace Oakley, 3 seconds left. Sharifi firing a tough three-point shot. The Vikings didn't set her up with much success in that situation. And the air ball will actually go back over to the Falcons. The officials are talking about it, and the ball was last touch off of the Falcons player, but the 30-second violation called before. So it's still an 8-point lead for the Falcons here. Vikings changing the press now, putting De La Cruz on the ball. Darte over to Fernandez, and now feed inside to Harrison. Harrison double for a moment. Able to pass the ball back out to Ko. Fernandez to Ko. Ko down the middle of the lane, had the ball kicked, so she will have to inbound it, or one of the players for the Falcons will have to inbound it with 12 seconds remaining. Shot clock will change to 20 after the kick ball, and the left side baseline inbounds will be Ko. Ko to Trigger. Scans the floor, ball kicked away once more.
On some of these inbound plays, watch out for the opposite corner once they rotate the ball. It looks like every single time they're kind of trying to set up a shot there with the screen.
Yeah, we've seen the couple different looking shots coming off of that as the inbounds pass. Now inside over to Harrison. Harrison to Ko. First 3-point shot for Ko. A little too strong. Sharifi fighting for the board. Had it bumped, but able to get it clean. Another rebound for Sharifi. Sharifi averaging 7.7 rebounds per game. The back-cutting LaPerry finds Oakley from the left wing. Oakley off the mark. Brought in by Darte. Vikings cold on offense. Haven't really scored in the last couple of minutes. Darte once more. Darte off the mark here. Oakley tracks it down inside of the corner. And Grace Oakley bringing it across the timeline for the Vikes. De La Cruz doesn't settle for a 3. Instead, clears some space, the shove off, and the second foul called against De La Cruz now.
De La Cruz might have gotten away with it if there wasn't such an extension there on the elbow, but that's what the ref called.
Yeah, it was a good call at the end of the day, and you can't really say much to that. Darte started off hot, 3 for 3, but she's missed her last couple attempts. And Ko, who hasn't really found much of an offense in this early going, will find a wide open Fernandez, and Fernandez gets her first triple of the night. 12 for 49 going into that shot. It's an 11-point lead. Oakley rims out her triple, and the Vikings shooting has not come with them after such a long break. Last game played against Sacramento City College, and that was on the 20th. And the shooting off the advantage from Weaver now. And Weaver's triple will make the Vikings burn another timeout, 32-18. Man, this team is hot. They're playing some great defense, and the Vikings aren't helping themselves out with their troubleshooting beyond the arc in this early going. So a timeout by the Vikings. Will take a timeout as well at the 5:31-minute mark here on DVC Vikings Live. Ryan and I were talking about it during the break. The Vikings seeing a lot of shots go down, so you feel inclined to have to keep pushing it. But at some point, you just got to run your system, really trust. When the Vikings were able to run their system and really just run down the floor quickly, that's when they had their success. If you quickly try to get a shot up or don't really trust your ball movement, that's when you're going to struggle a little bit. Now De La Cruz trying to get some good favor from the officials here. Chatting it up with one of the officials on the floor, her and LaPerry here. Getting a little bit of a chuckle too, so playing a little bit of that psychological game.
We'll see.
De La Cruz operating. Free throw line now for Tegan. Tegan gets her woman to jump inside, leaves it short, wanted the foul, and a little slow getting back, so an advantage here for Folsom Lake quickly. Vikings able to get back on defense, and they will set up in that 2-3 zone. Switching it to a woman-to-woman defense now. Darte over to Fernandez. Had the ball knocked away off her foot. The ball's still on the ground. Fernandez comes away from the pack with it. Fernandez held up. The foul will be on the floor likely. Fernandez looks like she was shaken up on the play as well. Sky Parker will pick up her second. That's something to factor in. Two of the key players for the Vikings.
Number 32, Skylar Parker.
And Levy Fernandez to the free throw line. And it looks like maybe she tweaked up her right knee or something. And so I believe they'll actually make that basket count, as it will be an and one opportunity. So Fernandez will get the basket a drop. That'll put her up to 7 points, but she misses the free throw. Tegan to the corner. It's De La Cruz losing the handle. And the Vikings are all sorts of out of sync here in the second quarter. They did well to really bounce back in the last 5 minutes of the first quarter, but here Folsom Lake has taken the advantage, and they've continued to push it.
Yeah, the Vikings are in no sort of rhythm right now, and it really starts on the defensive end, get some easy buckets in transition, and we'll see how it turns out at the end of the game.
16-point lead for Folsom Lake. Vikings trying to cut it down to single digits before the end of the second quarter. Emily Coe, a nice looking assist inside to Weaver, but Weaver a little too high off the glass and misses the mark. 4:30 remaining. Parker, baseline jumper, no good. Karen brought in by Briggs. Now head over to Weaver. Darte left alone for a moment, and Weaver, 4-3, Weaver is good. Both her shots tonight have come from deep, and she's got 6 points, extending the advantage to 19.
Yeah, and what Folsom Lake is doing really well is they're running the spots in transition, and DVC isn't adjusting to those spots, and they're getting wide open looks because of it.
Whipping it over the corner, it was Parker over to Grace. Grace Oakley had her shot changed. I believe maybe even a little bit of a deflection there. Emily Coe gets the pass back, but she smokes it point blank. Another opportunity for Darte from the left wing as Coe gets it back. Coe held off the scoreboard, but the advantage still with Folsom Lake. Darte for three. Darte too strong once more. Maybe an over the back, but instead they'll just say it's out of bounds. Last touch by Ashley Briggs. Millette will send a replacement into the game, so it's Morgan Klein. Grace Oakley to the bench, Sharifi to replace her. So for the Vikings, it's De La Cruz, LaPerry alongside Tegan, who hasn't really found much success outside of her first three, with Sharifi and Sky Parker. So the three bigs on the floor and a double dribble called against the Vikings as well. You can see the frustration written all over the face of De La Cruz through her mask. Unforced turnovers have been the bane of the Vikings' existence throughout the first 17 minutes of play. On the other side, the entry pass over to Weaver from the right wing. Now to Coe. Coe working to the left perimeter. Feeds Briggs. Briggs cutting down the baseline. Briggs has the ball knocked away, last touched off of Gaines. So for the Falcons, it is Ashley Briggs alongside Jalen Weaver, Kalea Corley, Morgan Klein, and Coe. And now Corey Harrison to check in after the next stoppage in play. Kalea Corley fires a three, first three-point attempt of the season, and it's a ricocheted shot brought in by Sharifi. LaPerry hasn't taken many shots here tonight. She'll defer once more, backing her way inside, trying to get the contact, no good on it, but a nice attempt there by Sharifi. Coe shovels over to Weaver, back over to Coe. Coe, instead of spotting up from three, will take the left-handed dribble, back around. Corley now with the right-handed dribble. Over to Briggs. Briggs, the big for three, no good. LaPerry with the rebound. Vikings trailing by 19 here. And the ball nearly lost by Parker, but Parker able to get it back off the ball that hit her shoulder. The scoop shot inside, no contact called on the play. Last touch off of Folsom Lake, so with 17 seconds left on the shot clock, the missed shot by Gaines will go out of bounds, and the Vikings will send Gaines to the bench, taking a breather here as Oakley comes back in. So Parker and Oakley come out, and Gaines and Sky Parker come out, and Oakley and Henrich come back in. Entry pass goes over to Sharifi, and Sharifi held off the scoreboard until that moment, and it's a 17-point game now.
Great execution right there from DVC on the out-of-bounds play. Was able to trick the defense on the blocks with the switch.
Potter woman jumping. Harrison has the ball knocked away after the pass from Coe. Lob ahead. It's over to LaPerry. LaPerry contorts, and LaPerry from underneath the basket gets it to drop. It's a 15-point lead now.
DVC's defense creating their offense, getting easy looks, and you'll see this lead start to dwindle for Folsom Lake.
1:44 remaining. Overhand with the ball is Weaver. Now it's Klein. Klein, first shot attempt. Left side of the block, no good. Offensive board by Harrison. Harrison's got 3 or 4 of those in this early going. Clearance in space, but the ball was shoved away. Good hands by Skylar Henrich. And the ball on the ground, and I believe a foul will be called on the floor. Shake it up on the play was Grace Oakley, who was at the bottom of the pile. She's able to get up under her own power. Coach Casey Waters checking in on her freshman guard from Bishop O'Dowd. And the foul will go against Morgan Klein. That'll be her first. Tiggin to check back in, and Alexia Perry for the first time tonight will get a breather as she's going to need some attention by Wendy Holt. One of the most favorite trainers here, and it looks like it's her hand. Remember, busted up that right hand against ARC last year here that ended her season. Sharifi with 18 seconds to work, backing her way inside. Sharifi, the hook pass inside, and the foul in the process. Let's see if they call this a pass or a shot attempt. And they will say it was in the action of shooting, so a fortuitous call for the Vikings here. And the second foul called against Corley. Awkward form, but it stays true. Sharifi, a 70% free throw shooter, gets the first to drop. Second one, short. And trying to chase down the shot. It looks like she might have left before it even hit the rim, so losing the opportunity on the second attempt there by Sharifi. That free throw shot makes it a 14-point lead for Folsom Lake here. And a deep 2-point shot taken. It looked like Corley might have just wanted an inbounds pass, but instead gets it to drop. They call it a 2 or a 3, Ryan?
They called it a 2.
Okay. So it's still 39 to 23. Gains to Oakley. De La Cruz, 15 feet away. Cross-court pass over to Sharifi. Sharifi for 3. Low angle 3 hits the side of the iron. And you can feel the struggle from De La Cruz, screaming, barking out, trying to get the most of her player. .16-point lead for Folsom Lake. About a 5-second shot clock, game clock difference here. Content with using as much clock as possible as Coe, who handles. Yo-yo dribble with the right hand, eyes on the ball like a dog. De La Cruz pushing the pace. 8 seconds left. Coe tripped up, and it looks like Gaines might have just gotten her long limbs in front of her and tripped her up on the play. Still only the 4th foul against the Vikings, so this will not be a shooting attempt.
Foul charge number 1, Izzy De La Cruz.
And they'll actually call this against De La Cruz, so that is a really tough foul, the 3rd foul against De La Cruz. So it's, with 12.2 remaining here, it'll reset the shot clock, and the last shot will be a Folsom Lake one, most likely.
Let's see if DVC can close this out with a stop before the half ends.
Gaines playing on the ball against Weaver, who inbounds it over to Coe. 10 seconds left. Looking for the screen. De La Cruz able to fight through it. Coe cutting down the left side of the lane. It's over to Klein. Doesn't take the three. Now Corley. Left-handed shot. Corley. Found money for the Falcons. 6 points for the freshman guard out of Reno, Nevada. Hadn't played up to this point in the year. But man, she's been giving them some found money. 41-23. An advantage for the Folsom Lake Falcons throughout the first half of play. The Vikings did a really good job fighting back from an 8-point deficit in the first quarter of play, where they cut it all the way down to 1 at the end of the first. But that second quarter was all Folsom Lake. It was a 1-point lead. It ballooned up to 8, and then it just kept rolling with the momentum for the Falcons. And that brings us to the 41-23 minute mark. Let's give you some points across the board. Darte went 3 for 3 to start her night. She's got 9 points, but she's missed her last few three-point attempts. Alyssa Lopez, 3 shots, 6 points, and those all came in the first quarter. Weaver has 6 points alongside the 7 of Harrison and the 7 of Fernandez in the 6 of Corley. So honestly, the shots are just dropping for Folsom Lake College. The Vikings playing some good defense, playing some bad defense at moments, giving up some open threes, but I mean, you got to live with it. These shooters shoot about 28%, 30%, so you live and die by the outside shooting in that situation. Leading scorer for the Vikings is De La Cruz. She has 7 points alongside the 2 of LaPerry, the 2 of Henrich, 3 of Gaines, 3 of Sharifi, and 4 of Sky Parker. I want to see Parker get more involved inside of the post, and I want to see the Vikings really turn up that pressure to 11, start forcing some turnovers, and really buying more possessions here in the second half. Ryan, what have you been seeing so far?
Yeah, like you said, a lot of the post play, you see DVC try to go to the post sometimes, and nothing's really come out of it, but that shouldn't be to discouragement. You should always go to that, because I think that's DVC's bread and butter. And then I would say, not uncharacteristically, but Folsom Lake is really pushing in transition, and they're finding spots in the floor where no DVC defenders are. A lot of the time, the corners, the wings. And so for DVC, it's all about the adjustment of not allowing those open shots. And then also when plays are broken down and DVC may give up an offensive rebound, to close out on the shooters and try and discourage Folsom Lake from hitting those threes.
So that's the game plan adjustments here coming into the second half. And before we send it to our halftime break, we're going to talk about the 10th annual poker tournament. DVC's annual fundraiser is our most favorite. The poker tournament taking place on February 3rd, 2024 at the DVC HSF building. It's going to be $40 to attend, all you can eat and drink, $20 buy-ins and $75 buy-ins and $20 rebuy. There you go. First place will take a $500 Visa gift card. Second place $250. Third place $200. That's a whole ton of fun, and we'd love to see you there on February 3rd at the HSF building. So go to eventbrite.com and search DVC Poker, and that'll send us to a halftime break. A whole task for the Vikings to get back into it. The second half of play, 41-23, a lot of adjustments, a lot of unforced turnovers to clean up, and there'll be a new game in the second quarter, or the second half, I can tell you that. So back on the other side of the break here on DVC Vikings Live. Back on the court here with about 2 minutes remaining at the halftime break. And so the Vikings trailed by 1. It was 19-18 at the end of the first quarter after a 8-point lead from Folsom Lake in the first quarter. But that second quarter was just all Folsom Lake, the Vikings. A lot of unforced turnovers, some forced turnovers, but mainly just knocking down the outside shot. The outside shot has been dropping tonight for Folsom Lake College. It's the team that shoots about 30% on the year. That's ranked 22nd in the 3C 2A in terms of threes. But man, the numbers tonight for the Vikings just haven't been there. This is a team that has come into the game shooting over 40% from inside of the paint and 30% from outside of the arc. But I mean, just nothing really dropping tonight. I want to see the Vikings really start to push inside with Sharifi and Parker and really try to dominate a little bit inside the post.
Yeah, DVC's offense tended to stagnate in that second quarter there, and really it's just all about player movement, ball movement, and trying to get the defense off balance, and DVC is capable of that, and I think we'll see it in the second half.
Yeah, you can feel the energy on both sides. A little bit of an eerie energy coming the way of DVC, and then just that swagger coming off such a big win against Delta College for Folsom Lake. I mean, talking about some of those numbers a little bit, they had that advantage going into the halftime break of 10 points, but in that third quarter, that's when Folsom Lake really started to pull away. 28 points scored to the 13 of Delta, so the Vikings need to take a page out of Delta's book and not create the same mistakes that they made to really allow Folsom Lake to run away with it in the second half. So it'll be interesting to see what the Vikings have in store here. Sam Garski leading his team, coaching them up, and we're just about 25 seconds away from the start of the second half and this first half of our doubleheader. And before I forget, Marcia Silva, thank you so much for supporting DVC Athletics on YouTube. Your first supporter, surprisingly enough, so we appreciate you, and we're showing you some love as this broadcast continues on, and hopefully your love for the Vikings Athletics programs will turn into a better support or a better showing in this third quarter and possibly a win at the end of the night here. As we bring it back on the floor, it looks like Folsom Lake College will have the ball to get it started here with 10 minutes on the clock here in the third quarter. For the Falcons, it'll be Weaver, joined alongside Lopez, ready to inbound it. Coe coming in as well with Corey Harrison and Ashley Briggs, the starters on the floor for Folsom Lake. And on the other side, it's LaPerry, De La Cruz, Sharifi, Gaines, and Sky Parker. Those are the starting five for the Vikings starting the second half as well. Lopez to inbound it, whips it over to Coe, and we've got our third quarter started here. Vikings with the 18-point hole. Travel to start, so that's a great sign. Ashley Briggs moved the pivot foot, and the Vikings get an unforced turnover on their own regard there. So let's see them clean it up, and let's see what the Vikings have in store here. The adjustments that they can make on offense in the second half. LaPerry to Sharifi, working around the perimeter. It's Gaines to De La Cruz, lobbing over the top of the defense, and now Gaines called for the travel on her own regard. So back-to-back turnovers to start the first segment of this third quarter. Not the way you want it looking.
It looks like DVC starting off in the 2-3 zone again, but a little bit more ball pressure on top. We'll see if that affects the shooting of Folsom Lake this half.
Ashley Briggs just called for the travel, trying to work across the basket. The drop-off over to the other big woman, and a foul caught the end of the play. Tegan Gaines cannot believe they called that one on her. I think that's one of those situations where if the shot drops, you don't call it, but if it does, then, or if it doesn't, I should say, then you got to call it. It'll send Harrison to the free throw line for the second time. First free throw off the heel of the iron. And Harrison now 1 for 3. Harrison, a 65% free throw shooter, sets up. She split the pair last time. And able to do so once more. So 2 for 4. She's got 8 points. And second leading scorer on Folsom Lake behind Darte's 9. Vikings trying to get their first successful offensive possession here, trailing 19 with 9 minutes to play in the third quarter. The lob inside, and it was way too tall for Sky Parker, and the ball was stolen away from Folsom Lake. It's Lopez, 15-footer from the left side of the baseline. The ball dribbles over the rim, and it's Parker getting the tip off from Gaines. De La Cruz quickly down the left side of the floor. Feeds inside, it's Parker. Parker can't get the kiss off the glass. Just looked like a little bit of an out-of-system shot for her. She wasn't at the block, just pushed a little bit further out and misses from there. And then Weaver's first three-point attempt, no good. The ball stays with Folsom Lake as Ashley Briggs gets the O board. And the flat shot a little too strong. The foul called against Folsom Lake. First foul called against. I believe that will go against Lopez. Nope, instead it's 23. That's Ashley Briggs.
Foul charge number 20.
DVC did a really good job there boxing out and was able to draw the foul on the rebound for Folsom Lake.
Yeah, just going back to fundamentals. Proper ball movement, boxing out, playing some stout game inside of the post. That's what the Vikings need to do to get back into this one. Coming back in after a 6-point first half, Kalea Corley. She replaces Lopez. Sharifi has the ball knocked away from the left elbow. Coe gets the steal. Coe throwing it ahead. It's over to Corley. Corley from the right side. 7 points now, or pardon me, 8 points for number 15 in black. 18-footer from the right wing. The ball's dribbled all around, spiked into the ground by Harrison, into the hands of Coe. Coe trying to go coast to coast, gets the shot blocked by the bottom of the backboard, and LaPerry will break away from the pack. Turnaround, doesn't take it as Parker. Now De La Cruz hesitates from three, inside the 12-foot floater. And De La Cruz, the best scorer in the night for the Vikings. She's the leading scorer in the game at 9 points now, tied alongside Darte. Vikings need a lot more as they trail by 19. Ashley Briggs dribbles across the lane, finds the cutting Harrison, and Harrison went down Broadway, but went way too far over the top with the hook shot. Still a 19-point lead for the Falcons. The ball nearly tipped away. LaPerry able to get the ball back from the top of the key. Settles for an 18-foot jumper from the short left wing, and Lexi LaPerry has 4 points. And a couple good baskets by the Vikings will force a timeout out of the pocket of Ali Mollett. So the Vikings cut down the deficit to 1 point up to this point. It's a 17-point lead for the Folsom Lake Falcons, but the Vikings offense starting to find its groove here on DVC Vikings Live. Pardon the buzzers. I know it's loud in ears. It's loud in our ears as well. Sharifi going to the bench for the first time in the second half. And Grace Oakley coming back in. Oakley coming off her career-high 17 points against Sacramento City College last time around, but hasn't had much success from beyond the arc tonight. Weaver, 4-3, no good. Inside position and a rebound by Corley, and Corley finds the cutting Weaver. And Weaver misses the shot, cuts down, and she's got 8 points. Extending the lead back up to 19. Lexi LaPerry shoves off the defender with the left hand, not called. Trying to go inside, and the bump called against Corey Harrison. That'll be her first. Oh, whack underneath. And now substitution now as Gianna Darte, the freshman out of Roseville, California, comes back in. Had 3 3-pointers in the first quarter. Hasn't scored since. Parker bumped once more. Back-to-back fouls called in succession against Corey Harrison. Vikings to inbound it. 2 fouls on Folsom Lake at the 6:47-minute mark. And with those 2 fouls, they'll send Corey Harrison to the bench. Back in is Jaden Weaver. That'll be her 3rd foul, by the way, on Harrison. Inbounds pass over to LaPerry. 22 seconds left on the shot clock. She'll dribble between her legs. Over to Henrich, who comes into the game for the first time in the second half. Henrich, a little bit of a wild shot on a flat-footed attempt over Briggs. But there you go. We talked about it when the first shot drops for Henrich. I mean, she's got that juju and that magic flowing through her. Back to 17 now. Darte, left elbow. Now it's over to Corley. Corley to the post. Coe with an opportunity from deep. And Coe hasn't been seen on the scoreboard throughout this early going now. Throughout just about 14 minutes, one of the best scorers, unable to get anything going. And that is a terrific attempt. De La Cruz washed behind the basket, but let the shot drop at the last possible moment and got the shooter's bounce to roll as well. 15-point lead now for Folsom Lake. Vikings cutting into the deficit. Ashley Briggs dribbling with the right hand. Over to Coe. Coe ball fakes. Now inside. 14-foot jumper. Left side of lane. Missed. Rips the ball out of the hands of Sky Parker. And now the drop off and nearly a wedgie, but Weaver able to get it to drop. She's into double digits now with 10. Averages 10.8 points per game. Got to secure those rebounds. LaPerry over to Oakley. Oakley, a wide open left wing three. Peel the iron, offensive rebound, ball swatted away. Sky Parker onto the ground, gets the ball back. And now LaPerry saves her from the trouble underneath the trees. Feeds back inside to Parker. Parker, right-handed shot inside of the paint. The turnaround jumper, no good. Good looking attempt, and that's what you want to see, but Sky Parker hasn't had the success that she saw last time around against Sac City tonight. Briggs running the baseline, the floater left short. It looks like Sky Parker, just a little bit of a hitch in her step coming back on defense. LaPerry goes inside, the wild shot and the foul. No, they don't call a foul instead. It's a ball knocked off. It was Henrich who got the O board, but now Darte with the steal down the floor. Darte pump fakes. Now to Briggs. Briggs from 18 feet out, cross-court pass to Coe. Better looking shot from Corley, and Corley. Man, she has been something tonight. 11 points for the freshman from Reno High School. That extends the lead to 20 now. Grace Oakley, no good on her attempt. The ball's last touch, fighting for the rebound. It was last touch off of Gianna Darte. And the Vikings will send their bigger unit onto the floor now, as Henrich and Sky Parker will go to the bench. In comes Tegan Gaines with a freshly wrapped wrist and thumb, and Tamana Sharifi as well. Gaines gets it, has the ball knocked away after the inbounds pass. Over to Grace Oakley. Grace, another attempt, finally finds the bottom of the net. She was 3 for 8 from beyond the arc last game, and finally able to find the triple to drop to cut it down to 17 once more. Coming in for the first time this half is Fernandez for Folsom Lake. And an offensive foul called against, or pardon me, it was just out of bounds called against Folsom Lake there. It looks like anytime the Vikings start to get a little bit of momentum, Folsom Lake takes it back, but in this situation, they turn the ball over, giving a little more opportunity for the Vikings to cut this one back down. 17-point lead for the Falcons, still at the 4-minute mark here in the third quarter. LaPerry hasn't taken any threes tonight. She settled with these deep 2-point shots, and that time well off the mark. High shot was short. De La Cruz nearly gets the steal in the passing lanes. Ball knocked off the hands of Lopez, diving for the ball just in front of us. Trying to save it was Corley, but instead it's a turnover. LaPerry, right side of the block. LaPerry called for the offensive foul. Livy Fernandez able to get back, was inside the restricted area, planted the feet, knocked to her rear end. And the first foul against LaPerry. If I'm not mistaken, that's only her 7th foul this year.
Wow. Yeah, there might have been some movement there on the charge, but really good defense from DVC, and it unfortunately lasted into that transition look.
It'll be Fernandez threading underneath, and in comes back in Corey Harrison with 3 fouls as well. Want to see the Vikings really put some pressure and try to get her fouled out of the game. 17 points, still the deficit. De La Cruz, LaPerry, Sharifi, Gaines, who gets the ball in the corner, and Grace Oakley. Those are the 5 on the floor for the Vikings. And a trip underneath the basket as Gaines comes down tumbling, as Fernandez will pick up the foul.
One way that we haven't really talked about for DVC to kind of gain momentum in this game is the free throw line, and there's 4 fouls for Folsom Lake this quarter. You could see there's 3 minutes left. You could see DVC try and take advantage of that, get some easy points at the free throw line.
Yeah, that's right in the game plan of LaPerry, and as you say it, they bring back in Jalen Weaver replacing Harrison. Don't want to get too many fouls on her going into the fourth quarter. Sharifi after the inbounds pass from LaPerry from the left side of the baseline. Sharifi backing her way inside, the quick dribble inside. Sharifi, turn around, no good, tipped up in the air, gets her own ball back after a tip from Sky Parker, and LaPerry has it now. 3 minutes left to play, 4 fouls against the Falcons. LaPerry settling for that short left wing jumper once again, pardon me. It was such a high arcing shot, I thought it was a 3-pointer, but it's 6 points now for LaPerry. Lopez swings it to Darte. Now Lopez gets it back. And just a laser to the middle of the hole for Alyssa Lopez as she puts on her 8th point. Second leading scorer for the Falcons. Vikings can't seem to get past the 17-point deficit here. Grace Oakley doesn't settle for a 3. Instead, the runner. Scoop shot no good. Ball goes over to Weaver. And now quickly ahead is Lopez. Lopez to Corley. Now to the corner, it's Darte. Corley lobs over to the left elbow. Fernandez works inside of the post. And a foul underneath. And if this goes against Sky Parker, that'll be her 3rd. It will be. Sky Parker picks up her 3rd foul, first of the half here, with under 8 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter, I should say. And in that situation, it'll send Livy Fernandez to the free throw line, the 53% free throw shooter. Livy Fernandez averages 6 points per game, has 7 in this early going. She's been a nice addition to this Folsom Lake team. And now is 1 for 2 from the free throw line with 8 points. Second free throw missed, but an offensive board made by Lopez. And I didn't see what that play was, but it looks like it'll be a foul called against Oakley. 4 fouls apiece on both sides with under 2 minutes to play. Sky Parker will go out. Back in is Skylar Henrich.
DVC's playing good defense this half, but it's tough to execute. It's tough to get any momentum with the way Folsom Lake's been executing here.
And Folsom Lake back over to Klein, who comes back into the game here, under 2 minutes to play. Over to Emily Coe. I don't think Coe has checked out of the game 1 time in this half so far. Alyssa Lopez, short right wing jumper, no good, too strong, out of bounds.
Vikings ball.
And it'll go to the Vikings. 18-point lead. It's still the same score as it was at halftime. And the Vikings have an uphill battle for sure here with under 1:30 to play here in the 3rd. Sharifi nearly doubled in this 2-3 zone. A left wing 3, off the mark, offensive rebound, the scoop shot, and the basket made by Sharifi.
Number 30, Tamana Sharifi.
Tamana Sharifi cutting the deficit down to 16 here. And a travel on the other side called against Darte. Unforced errors have really given the Vikings some opportunities here in the 3rd quarter. And another one will give the Vikings an opportunity to try to cut down this deficit of 14. Or pardon me, of 16, I should say. Under 1 minute to play here in the 3rd quarter. De La Cruz working off the screen. Drifts into the right side of the lane. Now the crossover, cutting to the hole. De La Cruz with a difficult shot. 13 points for De La Cruz. She's the leading scorer of the Vikings. That's a 14-point lead now for Folsom Lake College. But man, De La Cruz, every shot has been tough, and she's been earning her keep tonight. Coe with 16 seconds left on the shot clock. About an 18-second difference in shot clock and game clock now. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. A deep 2-point shot taken, and that's Weaver continuing to find her mark. But that one is a 2, making it a 16-point game, and she's got 12 points now.
Every single time DVC inches closer, Folsom has an answer.
De La Cruz misses the short jumper, and now an opportunity for Folsom Lake to try to extend the lead here. Harrison to Coe, 4 seconds left. Coe out to the corner, it's Dante, and Darte, another 3. And for Folsom Lake, that's what the doctor called for, raining down 3s and getting those balls to drop. So what was an 18-point deficit turns into a 19-point deficit, and the Vikings have a whole mountain to climb as the Falcons have the advantage. The number 9 team in the NorCal division, the number 16 team in the state, has come out, and they've proven why they're such a good team here. Going into the 4th quarter of play, 19-point deficit, Vikings trailing 59-40 here on DVC Vikings Live. Back here before the second buzzer, a 19-point deficit as it was an 18-17 quarter here at the end of 30 minutes of play. And Ryan, we were talking about this just a moment ago. What were you saying about the Vikings offense in the second half?
Well, we talked about them trying to go inside a little bit going into this half, and it seemed like they were trying to get a lot of off-ball screens for open three-pointers to try and combat the three-pointers of the other end from Folsom Lake. But it's not really going in. DVC's only made 2 three-pointers just right there, and maybe try and do things that are more toward your game, and especially today.
And instead, 2 missed three-point attempts. A nice offensive rebound opportunity, but I think in this situation what the Vikings are thinking is you've only got so many different possessions here. As a nice feed inside for Harrison, and Harrison called for the travel. So that is a positive thing for the Vikings there. Continuation of travels for Folsom Lake College. But yeah, you're trailing 19. You'd love to see them go inside, work that post once more, but more than anything, it's just you're running out of time. Some of those threes will have to drop if you want any chance to come back into this one.
Yeah, we'll see if DVC is going to try and use less of the shot clock and try to get more early shots to try and combat the score and the time left in the game.
Lexi Perry on the step back, a little bit of contact, but no call, and now Coe races down the left side of the floor. Coe, a hard foul called as De La Cruz came over the top. That'll be her 4th. And Coe has had De La Cruz's number throughout the first 3 games of their career here. Coe still held off the scoreboard, but De La Cruz has fouled her quite a bit. 4th foul against Izzy De La Cruz. 1 more before she has to sit. Entry pass over to the post, and Harrison with a nice attempt, but Henrich with better defense. Oakley, a little bit of an awkward dribble inside of the paint, loses the ball, stolen away by Klein. Can't have that. Under 9 minutes to play. Darte, who hit the 3 to end the 3rd quarter, defers over to Weaver, and Weaver with the foul line jumper. 14 points now for the freshman from Carmichael, St. Francis's High School's own. 21-point lead now for the Falcons. De La Cruz jumping the pass inside. Sharifi lowers the shoulder to clear up with some space. And the one thing that has been going well is the player Sharifi inside. Sharifi's been a nice addition to this team all year long, and you can see her post presence on that last attempt. 19-point lead. Coe for 3, and the first basket for Coe is a mountainous shot as she extends the lead back up to 22. Timeout taken by the Vikings. So we'll take the timeout alongside with them, and we'll talk to you about the 10th annual poker tournament. So coming to 10, it's the Vikings annual fundraiser here on February 3rd, 2024. $40 to attend, all you can eat and drink. $75 to play, $20 buy-ins. First place $500, second place $250, third place $200. Go to eventbrite.com and search DVC Vikings Poker, as that sends us to another timeout here on DVC Vikings Live. $20-point lead for Folsom Lake as they extend the 18-point deficit here, or pardon me, the 19-point deficit at half for the Vikings, I should say, the 19-point lead. And Vikings need to keep fighting to the end of it. De La Cruz, left-handed dribble, working around the top of the arc. Good crossover as she gets inside on Coe. Spins around, finds LaPerry. LaPerry a feed inside. Parker, left-handed hook shot. Wide left, rebound. Brought in by Coe. The lob ahead, off the hands of Ashley Briggs. And the save made by Corey Harrison as she hits the door on the left side of the floor. Emily Coe using the clock. Darte. And the pass inside now to Briggs. A handoff underneath. And Harrison, man, these are some tough calls here. Late whistles, if the shot drops, they won't call it, but man, Corey Harrison held off the scoreboard in the second half, if I'm not mistaken. It has an opportunity, or I think she made one free throw up to this point, so 2 more attempts here. Positive note, the Vikings will not have the clock run on this attempt, but still just not much to handle. Trend continues, 1 missed, 1 made for Harrison. Let's see if she can stick to that 50% on the second attempt. Does so exactly. Calculation on the first, made on the second, and it's a 23-point lead now for Folsom Lake. Sharifi working the post, and quick hands of Darte knocks the ball away, and a steal for Folsom Lake. Emily Coe spins around the perimeter. Darte to Harrison. Back over to Darte for 3. Triple from the outside. Darte, 5 made 3-pointers for her 15 points. She has been on fire tonight. Vikings answer with a 2-pointer of their own as Sky Parker has 6 points, but it's still a large deficit of 24. Fernandez to the scorer's table for Folsom Lake. Pass inside to the post. Harrison dribbling through the trees, misses the shot, but another opportunity, man. The officials have really changed the polarity. They were letting a lot of physical play go in the first half, and in the second half, I don't know what they were talking about the halftime break, but they are calling every little touch foul in this situation.
That's really tough on DVC because they want to play aggressive and close out and stop shooters. And when you do that, it allows the offense to get into the paint and drive, and you're in recovery. And when you're in recovery, you're out of position, so it tends to lead to more little bump fouls for Folsom Lake.
So Folsom Lake gets Corey Henderson to the free throw line, or Harrison to the free throw line as she misses the first once more. And Parker will foul on the last foul as well. Henrich comes in to replace her. If there's one consistent thing tonight, it's been the first missed free throw and the second made by Harrison. 25-point lead now. Folsom Lake showing up to be a formidable foe here early on in the season. Henrich, no foul, and a push, I think, on the rebound. Foul go against Coe. That'll be her first.
Foul charge number 2 on Coe.
And actually, yes, that will be her first. Ball knocked out of bounds, and the Vikings will inbound it from the near sideline here. Under 6:10 to play here. As a rotational piece will come in as Alyssa Lopez will replace Darte. In comes back Kalia Corley. She's got 11 points. And now, on top of all that, a timeout. So a timeout on the floor will take it as well. Folsom Lake trying to clean up some execution errors here in the fourth quarter as they have a big lead of 69-44 on DVC Vikings Live. Only a 30-second timeout, so the Vikings will bring the ball back onto the floor, trailing large here. And honestly, in the last 6 minutes of play, I think you just got to focus on execution. Lexi LaPerry driving down the left side of the wing. She'll be spun back around by Corley. And LaPerry gets her shot from the baseline, but it was too high off the glass and off the mark. Alyssa Lopez alongside Corley with Harrison. Ashley Briggs firing away from the right elbow, missing. Offensive rebound brought in by Harrison, and a foul on the rebound. And the last one on the floor is Livy Fernandez. Those are the 5 on the floor for Folsom Lake College. And Corey Harrison will actually be called for the offensive foul as she shoved off a defender trying to get that rebound. Vikings trailing by dub 5 here. You can feel De La Cruz continuing to will her team and try to close this one off as strong as possible. Tegan hasn't had much success tonight, but a nice move inside as she's fouled, earning a trip to the free throw line. Tegan Gaines' first basket was on the first attempt for her of the game, and that was a left wing 3-point shot in the first quarter. But since then, I mean, really, Folsom Lake has had her number. Gaines' first free throw rattles out. Gaines is a 70% free throw shooter. Hasn't had much opportunities, no free throws in that first game against Sacramento City College either. Double clutches it, and I don't think they're even going to call that that attempt off. There's a lane violation called against Folsom Lake, so another opportunity to take a free throw now for Tegan. Free throw short. Couldn't get her legs under it. 0 for 2 from the stripe for Gaines. Lopez to Fernandez, now to Weaver. Weaver flips it over to Lopez. Lopez gets inside, too strong. Fighting for the ball, rips it out of the hands, and it'll likely be a jump ball. Possession there will stay with the Falcons. Coe checking out for the first time, and we'll come back in with 5:16 to play. Ashley Briggs, the forward from Fair Oaks, California, taking a seat now. Right side inbound from the baseline for Emily Coe. Gaines draped all over her, whipping it to the left corner. It's Fernandez. Fernandez fouled on the attempt. Gaines will likely pick up the call. Second foul called against Tegan Gaines. And it will be in the act of shooting. So Livy Fernandez, 1 for 3 on the night, will have an opportunity to continue to test her game from the free throw line. First free throw good. Livy Fernandez now 2 for 4. And Ryan, I know this game has kind of been put behind us up to this point with the 26-point lead for Folsom Lake into this fourth quarter as the second free throw is missed. Long rebound tracked back in by Lopez. But finishing our point here, I mean, what do the Vikings have to do to bounce back here and really have a strong showing in this last 5 minutes?
Well, I think it should be the focus on not only that you want to get back in this game, but even if that's unlikely, it's trying to take stuff that you could put into the next game. Just like that where De La Cruz got the transition bucket for the lay. It's all about trying to focus on the things that you're good at and refining them. And hopefully that carries over and gives you momentum that you want to bounce back the next game.
Yeah, and De La Cruz cut to the hoop in transition and got the basket to drop. She's 1 for 2 from the free throw line and will have the and one opportunity now. And yeah, pushing in transition, really setting up your press. And the second free throw, our third free throw of the night for De La Cruz is off the mark, curls out. But yeah, with a 24-point deficit, I think you still got to continue to play hard. You've had a lot of time, call it rust, call it whatever it is. The Vikings haven't played a game in about 2 weeks now. And honestly, a lot of found money by the way of Kalia Corley. She's got 13 points now. And yeah, more than anything, it's just break off some of that rust, learn from a tough defeat as Gaines goes inside with a wild right-handed shot. Last touched off of Gaines, and the ball will go back to Folsom Lake. But yeah, I think it's really just trusting yourself a little bit more, knocking off some of that rust, and really just saying, hey, this team shot the lights out tonight. You got to live with it. And in this situation, what do we have to do to adapt and change if it ever happens again?
Yeah, it's not every day that you face one of these teams that have such great outside shooting presence, but when it does happen, we kind of see even on that last play there was a little bit of miscommunication issues, and kind of just like hankering that down and being able to adjust from that and hopefully getting that down so in the future you're able to combat that.
And the Vikings spring the three-quarter court pressure, but able to break it. Folsom Lake gets an opportunity at the basket, a little too strong. Inside positioning from Weaver there, but three different Vikings are able to break away from the pack with it. It's Tegan Gaines running straight down the middle of the floor, finds De La Cruz open from the right wing. De La Cruz fires away, left of the mark, corralled in by Fernandez. Once again, good-looking opportunities, but the Vikings just can't hit from deep tonight. I believe only one three-point shot made tonight, as a foul underneath the basket will go against Oakley, and Fernandez continues to live underneath the basket as she's got 10 points, trying to make it 11 on the and-one opportunity. Coach Casey Waters talking to her sophomore guard and Izzy De La Cruz, trying to get things going, and you just feel the collective sigh from DVC, knowing that they really got their rear ends beat on tonight. I can tell you, Coach Garski and Coach Casey Waters will have a lot to talk about before their next game on Tuesday against ARC. Levy Fernandez able to cross the tee on the three-point play, making it a 30-point lead. De La Cruz with the scoop, and De La Cruz another trip to the free throw line. Leading scorers on the evening, Darte's got 15, Weaver's got 14, De La Cruz for the Vikings got 15. But really, it's been the De La Cruz show and not much else. Oh, I misspoke earlier when we were talking about the threes. Grace Oakley actually had a triple of her own, so Oakley and Gaines are the only two that have three-point shots for the Vikings, as De La Cruz misses the first. And what do you want to chalk this one up to? It's a lot of fatigue. De La Cruz has played nearly 40 minutes tonight.
Yeah, it's tough. I would say that DVC tried to go a little bit unorthodox with the 2-3 zone. Typically, they're a woman-to-woman team. And what Folsom Lake has been able to do is really do a good job executing, getting the ball into the high post, which expands the defense, and they kind of have to pick and choose where they go. And Folsom Lake is just getting wide open opportunities off of that. So it's a little bit of rust. It's a little bit of facing an opponent that maybe is a little bit more unorthodox in their style of play. And that combination kind of makes it more hard to adjust throughout the game.
Levy Fernandez with the made basket on one side, and Tegan Gaines knocks down the triple on the other. Complain all you want about triples. Tegan's hearing us talking on the court, and she shows off her range. Interesting thing to note, both of the three-point shots for Tegan Gaines from right outside of the three-point line. She's typically a shooter that really shoots from NBA range. But a nice post move inside. Livy Fernandez has been putting this one on her back in the later going. 15 points now for Fernandez. And the foul underneath the basket on the reach-in against Darte. And really the star of this game has been Darte. Darte has been stroking it from deep. She has been knocking down every single deep three-point shot.
A lot of those three-point shots that Darte's been hitting, though, have been catch and shoot. Open looks, catch and shoot opportunities. And typically when you get those looks, it's like a 10% upgrade. When you're wide open, you don't have to put it on the floor.
Exactly. It's that Klay Thompson effect where when you're hot and you're just getting the ball delivered and fed to you every single time, you got to keep firing away, and you're not breaking stride. You're not breaking that shooting fashion, as Lexi LaPerry splits the pair there and making it a 30-point deficit once more. But yeah, you're not breaking your stride. You're going straight into your shooting motion, and you're seeing success with that. Weaver to Klein. And now Kalila Corley has the ball. Fernandez back over to Corley. 10 seconds left. It's Weaver, turns around, ball stolen away. Vikings getting a few stops in this later going. Still continuing to fight with the majority of the starters on the floor. The reach-in foul on the call against Fernandez. So the touch fouls were going one way against the Vikings. Now they're going back the other way, but a little too late, as Tanaya Lindsay will check in for the first time tonight, the freshman from Langston Hughes Academy. Grace Oakley getting a lot of burn in this game, but only 3 points to show for it. Oakley, you'd love to see her come off of her career high 17 points and have a nice night, but just hasn't found that success as Gaines' first free throws in. She's 1 for 3 now. Alexa, the player with tape on that right hand. I believe that's the same finger she hurt in the previous season, as Gaines able to knock down both of the free throws. Skylar Henrich out of the game. In comes back in Grace Oakley. Under 2 minutes to play here in this fourth quarter in this game that has been dominated by the Falcons of Folsom Lake. 80-52 our score here. High pass, it looked like De La Cruz was coming across the middle like a free safety, knocking that ball away. Last touched off, I believe, the shoulder of Gaines. Right side inbounds for Corley now. Finds the woman underneath, and I believe that was Jaden Weaver getting her 16th point of the night. The Bigs inside have feasted. Folsom Lake doing a tremendous job. Pass is intercepted by De La Cruz. De La Cruz came in the game, 9 assists, 0 turnovers. But quite a few turnovers on the way of the Vikings tonight. We'll wait for the official stats to really comment any more on that, though. Turned over by Folsom Lake, though.
It's always hard to get back into a game when you're not getting those shot opportunities, and when you turn the ball over, you can't get a shot on the scorebook.
LaPerry right outside the restricted area. Gets the teardrop shot to drop. 8 points for LaPerry tonight. 82-54. Under 1 minute to play. Fernandez has the ball. Rotation back around to Corley. Corley, ball over the head. Grace Oakley pestering. Goes down the middle of the lane, gets some help side defense, but follows up with their own rebound. It was Gaines who came and helped Grace Oakley, who got beat off the dribble. But that's been a huge factor for Folsom Lake College, just their ability to rebound and get inside. I mean, there have been so many opportunities where DVC is kind of just standing around, and it seems like they just sneak underneath the 2 or 3 players, get their inside positioning, and have really secured their offensive rebounds. I'd be interested to see what that final number is at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that may be kind of a symptom of taking long shots equal longer rebounds, and it's really hard when the long rebounds, typically you want a player going to the free throw line area to kind of, that's where the ball lands the most. And especially on corner three-point shots, the ball tends to leak out into transition, and if you don't box out, leads to a lot of offensive rebounds and wide open looks for the Folsom Lake Falcons.
Gaines foul, 2 free throws made by Weaver, and now Tanaya Lindsay driving down the right side of the wing, loses the handle, has to just flip the ball back inside, and that'll likely be the last attempt here in this fourth quarter here. All Folsom Lake has to do is bring it across the timeline. You can see the face of Casey Waters. Unhappy with the performance tonight, but honestly, sometimes you just got to take a whooping and come back stronger. Remember that in the back of your head and just continue to fight through it. A round of applause by the men's basketball team, who will come back in just a moment here. And that'll send us to the end of the first half of our doubleheader. Not what you want to see for Vikings fans, as it's an 84-54 finish at the end of 40 minutes of play. And the number 12 team in NorCal falls to the number 9 team, and they do it in, just a hurtful manner there. Coming off a huge win against San Joaquin Delta, Folsom Lake comes back and delivers the 3rd loss of the year for the Vikings. They drop to 1-1 in Big 8 play. Folsom Lake advances to 2-1, and the Vikings drop to 11-3. This is the first time the Vikings have lost at home, so they'll be 4-1 at home now. And the next time we'll see the Vikings will be on Tuesday as they take on American River College. And let's see if the Vikings can bounce back against a team that's 0-2 and 4-9 on the year. So the ability to bounce back against a team that's struggled a little bit this year. And really, I can see the Vikings taking out a lot of them going into that one next week. But for now, let's take a break. And in about 30 minutes or so, we'll be back with the second half of a doubleheader here as the Vikings men's basketball team will take on the Folsom Lake College Falcons. Vikings 0-1, and I believe Folsom Lake is 0-2. We'll get you more information on the other side of the break here on DVC Vikings Live. Once again, the final of our first half of our doubleheader, 84-54. Folsom Lake triumphs over the Vikings here.
swinging away and socks this to deep left field. That is gone! Bryson Horton.
Where the pulse for the ball. It's a chest high snap. He looks down the middle of the field. He's going to throw the ball run. Has the ball in the middle. Intercepted. Taking it down the far sideline. He steps out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. And that's how you cap the game up. Jabril White called game on his third interception of the evening.
Sierra Smith quickly worked around, feeding the hot hand. Jasmine got it! 3 threes for number 23.
He finds Edwards. Edwards needs to get the shot up. Pulls up a deep three. Able to knock it down.
The counterattack. Here comes Carla Ramos forward looking for Noelle Lemus. She's gotten by the last defender. Valentine comes down. Noelle drills the keeper. Lemus. And that is a DVC victory. And the Vikings are champions of California.
Second half of the doubleheader coming your way as the Falcons of Folsom Lake College, the men's basketball team, comes in 5-8, 0-2 at Big 8 play. They're looking to solidify some footing, led by fifth-year head coach Bill Benford. This is the team that lost to the Vikings both times last year, if my records stand correct. They played San Joaquin Delta last time around, and they lost by a final of 72-67. They started the game out well with a 9-point lead in the first 5 minutes, but since then, it was missed shots, fouls on the other side, and that really brought Delta back into the game. At the 10-minute mark of the first quarter onward, Delta built onto the lead, and they had a very large lead going into the halftime break. But in that second half, good perimeter defense, didn't allow many threes from San Joaquin Delta. Delta, after extending their lead to 20, started to have it dribble away. Folsom Lake College fought back in the last 10 minutes of play, and they really got it down to a single possession game in the last 2 minutes of play. Weren't able to execute in the closing, and that resulted in that loss. They're currently on a 3-game losing streak after losing to Las Positas College, who the Vikings beat here at home. They lost to Santa Rosa, and they lost to, of course, San Joaquin Delta, that we talked about just a moment ago. On the other side, the Vikings are on a 3-game losing streak of their own after dropping it to the number 8 team in the 3C2A. The Vikings coming off a loss on the 30th against the College of Sequoias. That was a 75-70 final over the Giants, or under the Giants, I should say, and that resulted in that 4-9 record that the Vikings are showing. So they had one Big 8 play game against Sacramento City College, who's the hottest team in the Big 8 right now. I mean, they are absolutely streaking, 13-1 on the season, 2-0 in Big 8 play up to this point. And in that last game against the Vikings executed a very good game plan despite the fact that they were shorthanded, missing Cole Webster, who once again missed tonight, and they will lose Marshawn Smith as well, who tweaked up his ankle last time around. So hopefully Marshawn Smith is able to get the ankle up and ready and going before the next couple of games. But in that one against College of Sequoias, they trailed by 1 point at the half. The second half didn't necessarily go their way. They were trailing by, I believe, upwards of 16, 17 points. But then the execution started to happen, similar to the way that Folsom Lake started to come back in the latter parts of the game against San Joaquin Delta College. The Vikings fought it all the way down into the last 20 seconds of play, where DJ Evans had an opportunity to knock down a triple. He ended up 3 for 6 on the night. But unfortunately, the look was there, the set play was there, but Evans just a little rushed on his shot attempt, pushed it, and that resulted in the final there. So the Vikings trying to bounce back, trying to get their second win at home, and they'll do it in a, so to say, equally matched team. One thing to factor in, so the Vikings on wins, they're shooting 45% from the three-point line. In losses, 24%. That goes with offensive field goal percentage as well. 48% in wins, 41% in losses, so a little less drastic in the stat sheet there. But more than anything, it's the defensive field goal percentage. When the Vikings win, they hold their opponents to under 40% shooting. When they lose, it's over 50%. And then three-point shooting as well. In losses, they've given up 46% for beyond the arc, and in wins, they've given up 26%. So those numbers changed a little bit as for the great defensive game that they showed against College of Sequoias last time around. But the Vikings will have a lot to prove here, and it's still early on in the season as Big 8 play is just coming together here. So the Vikings are currently in 8th in the Big 8, or 7th in the Big 8 play, and Folsom Lake is 9th in Big 8 play standing. So it's called the Big 8, but you got 9 teams. I mean, that's just college sports athletics divisions in a nutshell right there. You got the Big 10 with 16 teams and such and such. But so the Vikings are looking to get their first win in Big 8 play and tie up the rest of the pack that's at 1-1 right now. And we'll get you the starters on the floor. So we'll start with Folsom Lake College. Tay Indelicio, the sophomore guard, standing 6 feet 145 out of Sacramento, California. So not the biggest guy in the world, has 6 feet of length, but he's one of the best scorers and the leading scorer of the team, averaging 13.9 points per game. Didn't really have success last time around against the Vikings, as he only averaged 6 points per game last year. So he'll look to really turn the page there and get things together here in the second part of his career in his second season. So Jordan Hess, the sophomore guard out of Elk Grove, will be the second guard on the floor, alongside Logan Rexford, the freshman out of Folsom, California. And the forward up front, Alan Davis Jr., the sophomore forward out of Sacramento, California, stands 6'6", 209. He's a great rebounder, second on the team at 4.8 rebounds per game, and the Vikings are going to need to box him out this year. And the wing, Mirko Bear, the 6'5", freshman out of Placerville, California. He leads the team tied with Hess with the most steals, and he's also the leading rebounder on the team with 6.2 rebounds per game. Kai Curry will get the start again for the Vikings alongside Lorenzo Pardo. Ben Tejas, coming off a 17-point performance, will lead the Vikings in scoring and look to do so again tonight. 45% from the three-point line. Ben Tejas has been an absolute heater. Fourth in 3 points percentage, or three-point shot, I think, in the 3C2A. 16th in free throw percentage, 17th in points per game. And he's joined alongside Michael Wood at the center spot and Elijah Keys inside. Keys had a huge game where he ended up the night 6 for 7. He was part of the big reason that the Vikings were able to fight back and get back into the game against the Giants. So the tip is won after Wood went at it. And now let's get our first look at Folsom Lake College driving left to right. They'll work around the top of the perimeter, and a handoff over to Indelicio, who drives down the right side of the wing. Goes through his legs as he goes with the crossover dribble, and now swings it over to Jordan Hess. Hess inside to Alan Davis Jr., hits the side of the backboard, and Pardo gets the steal. So we gave you the starters just a moment ago, and now the uniforms. Vikings in there, grays, gray tops, gray bottoms with the green numerals and the green trim on the other side. It's black tops, black bottoms with the white numerals, and the turquoise trim for Folsom Lake College. Ben Tejas has the ball, top of the key, over to Kai Curry, 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Lorenzo Pardo, hook pass, Ben Tejas, straightaway three, Ben money! First points of the game, Ben Tejas with the triple, and the Vikings off to a nice start. Ball last touched off of a Vikings player as Miko Bear fought for it alongside that far sideline.
That's something you really love to see if you're the Vikings. Ben Tejas getting a wide open shot so quick into the game. Hopefully his rhythm carries through for the rest of the half and the rest of the game.
And Indelicio settles for a mid-range jumper from about 17 feet out from the short right wing. He misses, but the ball fought off the fingertips of Michael Wood will result in a ball going back over to Folsom Lake College. So they'll inbound it from the left side of the baseline with Indelicio. Eyes down the floor, lobs it ahead over to Davis. And now a hand up to Indelicio. Mirko Bear listed as a wing to Hess. And perimeter action now as Rexford doesn't take the three. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Still plenty of time to run your offense. Hess to the baseline, runs into Keys on a double. Left open, wide open for three. Hess, no good. Offensive board brought in by Bear. Leading rebounder gets the ball, gets to his spot from the short left wing. And from about 14 feet out, the first basket goes the way of Miko Bear. Tejas with the sleeve on his left hand. Injured that elbow early in the year, still fighting through that, but found some success. Thank goodness it's not his shooting arm. Spun inside of the lane, a tie-up, and the possession arrow will stay with the Vikings here. Good activity underneath by Alan Davis Jr. to knot it up, and the Vikings will have to inbound it with 13 seconds from the right side of the baseline here. Lobbed ahead to Pardo. Pardo with 12 seconds, threats underneath, and a foul underneath the basket. Ben Tejas went up off a delicious serve from Lorenzo Pardo. And at the 18:09 minute mark, the first foul will go against Indelicio.
Ben Tejas
what an assist.
Yeah, Ben Tejas right there was able to adjust to the defense in the overplay, and just for a little split second, he kind of paused before he shot the layup, and it allowed the Folsom Lake defender to run into them and get fouled.
First free throw good for Ben Tejas. He's got 4 points, and the Vikings 4 points now, and it's not officially listed as an assist, but man, threading the needle. What a great setup there. Second free throw, up and in, and shows why Ben is an upwards of 87% free throw shooter. just knocks it down from the stripe. 5 points. Benteas, 2 points, Folsom Lake College. And DeLisio breaks the pressure of the Vikings' full court press with 2 seconds remaining in the shot clock. And now Jordan Hess defers back over to Indelicio, who spins inside the lane. Running down the middle of the floor, it's Rexford, and Rexford off the mark, defensive rebound brought in by Kai Curry. Curry's been getting the start after Vinny Hurtado injured himself, and Benteas from the hash mark. Long rebound goes over to Pardo after the missed 3, and Tejas loses the handle inside. Good hands by Hess getting the steal. Hess lobbing ahead over to Bear. Bear leaves it short. And a foul from, man, that is a far foul. It was just about 92 feet away from the other side of the basket, as Allen Davis Jr. will pick up his first. Pardo came up for that rebound, and Pardo and Kai Curry rocking the same kicks tonight. Just that highlighter yellow Nike swoosh. Really deep 2-point shot. Michael Wood take half a step back, and that'll be a triple instead. A 19-foot 2-point shot extending the lead for the Vikings 7-2. Michael Wood called for the push there, and you can see the frustration on his face. Just got a little too handsy as he threw, I believe it was Indelicio, down to the ground. And the first foul for the Vikings will go against Michael Wood.
The Vikings have seemed to come out really aggressive with their press. They're running a man-to-man press, so they're really trying to get Folsom Lake off kilter and not be able to get into their offensive sets. Folsom Lake's really a team that likes to shoot early in the shot clock, so maybe pressuring them up top allows them to try and think and have to run a play throughout the shot clock late into it.
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head there. Vikings have really forced late shots from Folsom Lake College so far. Allen Davis Jr. crossover, tries to get inside on Keys. And, man, a really tough call. Keys set his feet, planted himself there, didn't reach for the ball, but the lean in from Allen Davis Jr. will allow him to get to the free throw line. So Davis Jr., 19 for 41 on the year, and a little bit awkward with the form. We've seen that last year, and the first free throw is good. I mean, it's just a little bit of like a wiggle to the left and then realigning himself and flicking it up. It's almost like he's overcorrecting for a little bit of a hitch in his shot, but man, swaggy, I'll tell you that. Both of the free throws good for Allen Davis Jr., so he's got 2 points. Folsom Lake's got 4 points, 7-4. Curry gets the ball in the inbound, sprinting down the floor, and it's DJ Evans coming in, replacing Keys. Evans unable to knock down the triple, but a very good-looking shot attempt there. Transition 3 not taken. Instead, a feed inside. Allen Davis Jr. leaves it short, fighting for the rebound, gets his own O board. And DeLisio to the corner. It's Hess. Triple a short. High rebound taken by Benteas. The ball's on the ground. And Tejas tried to roll it as he hit the rear end on the floor. Mikro Bear was all over him. DJ Evans wasn't quite able to get there in time. So a turnover on the Vikings there, giving another opportunity to Folsom Lake College. Kai Curry getting a breather. Vinny Hurtado, the sophomore guard, in for the Vikes. Lob ahead, stolen by Wood. Wood with the trailing man and the one-handed slam. Michael Wood felt the pressure by Allen Davis Jr., but he was busy chopping it up with the officials, didn't get back on defense, and the hammer from Michael Wood makes it 9-4. And DeLisio, 12 feet out, rebound brought in by DJ Evans. DJ Evans in his fire pink kicks, flips it to Tejas, and now Hurtado. Underhand shovel. Good defense to stay in front of Tejas. Tejas inside a lane. O-board brought in by Wood. Wood clearing some space, doesn't get the foul. Man, a lot of contact and no whistle there, as Wood had a nice opportunity at the hoop. Allen Davis Jr. has the ball knocked away, and a travel. That's a situation where you're a little too strong for your own good there. If that ball was knocked away, you would have an opportunity to get it back, but moves the feet holding onto that ball with a vice grip of sorts. So our first substitutions for Folsom Lake College, as Micah Hobson comes in, and I believe it's Tyson Hazel joined alongside him. Hazel had a terrific game last time around against the Vikings. And Michael Wood getting fed the ball underneath. prescribed the pill, going straight to the hole, and the Vikings are in double digits here at the 15-13 minute mark, 11-4. Wood, the leading scorer of the Vikings, with 6 points now. It's been the Wood and Taya show in this early going. Tyson Hazel swings it over to Logan Rexford, and Rexford on the fadeaway jumper 15 feet out from the right side of the baseline. It's true with the shot. 5-point lead for the Vikes. 14:49 remaining. Pardo number 5 for the Vikings. Will reset. Michael Wood, 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Dribbles inside, underhands it to Pardo. Pardo, the floater. Oh, a little too strong. Too much mustard on that dog, and Hobson gets the rebound. Hobson jump cuts inside, another tie-up, and this time around the ball will go back over to Folsom Lake. One jump ball going to the Vikings, the second jump ball going to the Falcons.
Great hustle there from Pardo. He missed the shot on the other end, was a little bit frustrated, but it didn't let it affect him, and he was able to run back in transition and get the jump ball and stop the transition layup.
Romeo Traylor comes in alongside Kai Curry, checking back into the game. So it's Traylor, Tejas, Curry, DJ Evans, and Vinny Hurtado. Those are the 5 on the floor for the Vikes. Off the ball. And a hip check called against Folsom Lake College. An illegal screen, and the first foul going against the sophomore guard from Folsom, California. That's Tyson Hazel. Kai Curry, a low dribble as he crosses the midcourt string. Romeo Traylor, cut off sleeves with his tat showing on the left arm. Defers over to DJ Evans. Good perimeter defense shown by Folsom Lake throughout this early going. Whips it inside, Traylor clearing some space. Traylor goes up, is fouled, and a travel beforehand. A little late on the call. I do see the travel there, but it looked like the referee was about to swallow his whistle until the basket went in. Gotta swallow his whistle before the basket went in. I think I said that. Second half of doubleheader, a little fatigue showing on in this early going. Wide open 3, Rexford, the triple. And it's an 11-9 game here at the 13:47 minute mark of the first half of play. Coaches are all dressed up in suits tonight. At halftime, maybe we'll see what the cause of this situation is tonight. So with that, it'll send it to our first timeout here. 11-9, Vikings leading the Folsom Lake Falcons here on DVC Vikings Live. Back on the floor, the Vikings will have the same units. DJ Evans, Kai Curry, alongside Romeo Traylor, Ben Tejas, and Vinny Hurtado. A lot of sophomores on the floor right now for the Vikes. DJ Evans working the top of the key. An off-the-ball foul against the Vikings as well will be a turnover on them. 3 fouls apiece. Kai Curry picks up his first. Lorenzo Pardo will come back in, replacing DJ Evans. Sideline inbounds. It's Jordan Hess now. Gets a man past the defender, and now Hazel has it. Vikings able to get back on the defense assignment. Hobson cutting straight to the hole. Instead, passes over to Hazel. Hazel shakes past his defender. Hazel with the highlight play. Tyson Hazel sends Vinny Hurtado to the earth and knocks down the mid-range jumper to tie us up at 11 apiece. Hurtado trying to answer. Over to Pardo. Pardo for 3, no good. Rebound by Hess. Hess ahead to Bear. Lobbing to Hazel. Hazel spun around the baseline. Throws it a little far, but the outstretched arms of Bear are able to bring it in. Feeding Hazel in the corner. Hazel short. Traylor fighting for the board. And a foul against, I think they're going to call this one against Hobbs. Yes, it will go against Hobbs. So that'll be a substitution now. Nico Bear to the bench. In comes in Allen Davis Jr. for the second time. Traylor going to the bench, replaced by Elijah Keys as well. Curry to Tejas, back over to Curry. Curry doesn't take a three, so instead the floater flies high, tries to get his own offensive rebound, but instead Hobson comes away with it. Hobson over to Rexford. Rexford spins around the pirouette, the left elbow jumper gives the first lead of the game to Folsom Lake. Rexford has really shown a good offensive game in this early going. Averages 7.7 points per game, but man, he's been the man on fire early on tonight. 7 points throughout 8 minutes of play. Curry catches him sleeping. Curry flips it up. Hazel fouls him, sending Curry to the free throw line. Talked about this before, but Kai Curry's twin brother is a gymnast at Cal, so only standing 5'10", 170. Curry, when he goes up, he elevates.
Curry right there did a great job rejecting the screen, but still able to collect himself and try and finish for the layup. And like you said, using that athleticism to kind of have that burst in order to get the shot towards the hoop.
Missed the first free throw, so the Vikings will send a two-big look out there as Michael Wood comes in, replacing Vinny Hurtado. And Mo Wilson coming to the scorer's table. He'll likely replace Kai Curry on this next inbound. So 2 missed free throws for the 56% free throw shooter. So good opportunity to get there, but the Vikings unable to tie it. Spinning around is Battle, who comes into the game for the first time. Battle, Hazel, Allen Davis Jr. alongside Rexford. And a left wing three is knocked down. Pardon me, it's a deep 2-point shot. And I don't get a number. Who was the man who made that shot?
I believe it was number 1.
So that's Tyson Hazel with 4 points. Looking down for just a moment, missed it. Tejas. Over to Curry. And Curry with 13 seconds left. Behind the back with the dribble. Getting past his defender. Has the ball knocked away underneath the basket. Last touched off of Folsom Lake, so the ball will stay with the Vikings with 9 seconds remaining. Mo Wilson finally comes into the game replacing Kai Curry. And I think there's a misunderstanding. They're sending out Ben Tejas. So 2 point guard look now for the Vikings here. One of the two a little undersized as Wilson 5'11", Kai Curry 5'10". Pardo after the inbounds pass. Pardo unable to get the three. Offensive board and the feed inside. Leaves it short as Michael Wood. Terrific job getting the O-board and dishing it back was Elijah Keys. And the ball's last touch off of Pardo as they try to lob the head. And they, as in Folsom Lake College. Michael Wood's had a few different great opportunities at the basket tonight, and the chemistry that Keys and Wood have put together so far in this early season has really been noticeable. Davis Jr. between the legs, spins inside, the big post move off the glass. A nifty finish for Davis.
Davis Jr. is a guy that we've said a lot during this broadcast, but whether it be good or bad, he's had a great impact on today's game.
Lorenzo probing inside. Lorenzo swatted as he went to the summit. Hobson tried to get the block, his 7th of the year if he was able to get it, but instead swings and sends Pardo to the line. Folsom Lake College trailed by as much as 7 in this early going, but the last streak has really sent them ahead. And before the Pardo free throws, they're up 17-11 here as the Vikings went in a little bit of a drought. Pardo wills that first free throw in. It was short, and by the grace of the bounce of the hoop, found the bottom of the net. Substitution now as Miko Bear comes back in, replacing Logan Rexford, I should say. And both of the free throws fill the cup for Lorenzo Pardo. 2 for 2. Joaquin Battle throws it away. Vikings force another steal there in a similar fashion as the tip ball last time around.
The Vikings right there in a zone press, maybe switching it up a little bit, are trying to make Folsom Lake adjust, and it worked right there, forcing the turnover.
Zone press works there, and Kai Curry mark on his left side of his neck. Over to Pardo. Michael Wood knocked down a 19-footer just a moment ago. Now will dribble inside. Right shot from the block. Fighting for his own board. Stays in bounds. Back over to Mo Wilson. Mo Wilson to Kai Curry, and the Vikings will take a deep breath here with 24 seconds remaining. Mo Wilson with the jab step, driving down the baseline, trying to clear some space, goes up, and just too much size by the 6'5" Miko Bear, changing the shot. Good looking attempt though. 17-13 still our score. Out to the corner, Joaquin Battle doesn't want to take the three, defers back over to Bear. And now rotation to Indalisi, who comes back into this game. Nico Bear from the left wing, defended by Michael Wood. Battle springs free. Over to Indelicio with 6 seconds left. Battle in the corner. Threads it underneath. The ball's knocked away off the fingertips of Indelicio. A steal and a layup on the other side. The skill from Michael Wood feeding ahead to Kai Curry, and Curry's got his first points, making it a 2-point game now. Vikings trailing by 2. High flying Indelicio misses the shot, offensive rebound, and a high attempt from Davis Jr., man. He is athletic. You can see in every single part. Long, lanky, and athletic. A push off as Mo Wilson got the shovel from Kai Curry. And the foul will go against Folsom Lake College. And that sends the Vikings into a 1-on-1 situation. Indelicio picks up his first. And it sends Moselle Wilson, the 70% free throw shooter, to the line.
9 minutes left in the half. We're already in the bonus. That bodes well for DVC for the rest of the half.
Elevates, rims out. Stretching for the board is Davis Jr. Feet ahead. And now Battle gets it back. Pardo with the board. Two men at the scorer's table for the Vikings. It's DJ Evans and Vinny Hurtado. Two more men come. It's Rexford alongside Hazel. And elevating for the shot and had the sun blotted out from under him was Mo Wilson. And in transition, Indelicio, the leading scorer for Folsom Lake College, gets his first basket. 19-15. The Vikings do a good job getting to the free throw line, averaging about 21 free throws per game, but not a great free throw shooting team at 66%. Michael Wood washed underneath the basket, and a travel before the foul. Nico Bear pushed off at the end of the play, but trying to gather himself and go back to the other side of the basket. A turnover on Michael Wood. So it's Mo Wilson, Vinny Hurtado, Michael Wood, DJ Evans, and Elijah Keys. Those are the 5 on the floor for the Vikes. On the other side, Tyson Hazel, Indelicio, joined alongside Joaquin Battle, Alan Davis Jr., and Logan Rexford. Pardon me, Indelicio is not in the game. Spoke one too many. Nico Bear left alone. And if you leave him alone at the top of the key, he will drain the 3. 22-15, Vikings trailing. 7:44 remaining. Elijah Keys, pump fakes, goes up, double clutches, and Keys so clutch in that last game. Able to get the cup to drop. Trying to answer with the triple. Logan Rexford, no good on the attempt. And the Vikings with Mo Wilson sprint down the floor. Push ahead, DJ Evans, triple, DJ Evans, 3.
DJ Evans right there, able to get to his spot, had his hands ready, open look, win in 3 points.
Yeah, if you look at the shot, DJ Evans really, that's his spot. And the 3-and-D man gets a steal on the other side of the ball, waving through the waves of Folsom Lake defenders as they set back up the half-court defense, and Vinny Hurtado passes to Moselle Wilson. Ben Tejas to the scorer's table. Jordan Hess to the scorer's table for Folsom Lake as well. 13 seconds left on the shot clock, 6:48 remaining in the first half. Elijah Keys calling for the ball. Pulls up from 18 feet out. Too strong off the heel of the iron. One-handed rebound by Davis Jr. Whips it ahead over to Battle. Battle stops his momentum. Now Hazel over to the corner. Doesn't take the 3, and now Rexford has it. Rexford, short, but an offensive board over to Battle. 25 seconds left on the shot clock. Rexford swings it over to Hazel. And now a left wing attempt. Strokes the 3 once more. Nico Bear.
Bear right there showing his versatility, being in that wing position. He's been battling down low on the defensive end, but able to still stretch the floor and hit some threes on the offensive side of the ball.
15-foot jumper left short by Michael Wood on the other side of the floor, and the rebound brought in by Tayson Hazel. Nico Bear not left alone this time from the left wing. Rotation over to Rexford. Inside, it's Davis Jr. Leaves it short, but the foul on the Vikings. And this might be the second on Keys. Second foul called against Keys. At the 5:45-minute mark here, and the Vikings trailing by 5 will send Allen Davis Jr. to the free throw line for the second time. The 6'6" sophomore from Sacramento, California, played his high school ball over Arizona Prep. Too strong on the attempt this time, so he's 2 for 3 now. And we'll get a reset of players on the floor in just a moment. Vinny Hurtado, Ben Tejas, DJ Evans, Kai Curry, and Michael Wood, the 5 for the Vikings. On the other side, Jordan Hess joins Logan Rexford. Allen Davis Jr. Misses the second attempt, so he's 4 for 2 now, alongside Hazel and Jordan Hess. Walks his way inside, loses the handle on the way up. Tejas with the turnover. 5-point lead for Folsom Lake at the 5:27-minute mark. Bear from the left wing, knocked to the ground, they don't call it. Rexford now over to Hess. They're going to feed Davis Jr. from the top of the key, but instead he defers back over to Hazel, who fires away a 3 at the 7-second mark. Vikings get the long rebound. Hurtado drops it back over, and it's to Kai Curry. And now Tejas doesn't take the 3. Left wing now. Dribbles inside, gets to the right block. Had the shot changed. A terrific job by Davis Jr. getting the block, man. A high flyer wearing number 11 for Folsom Lake College. Hess with 17 seconds left. Running the play call from his head coach, Bill Benford. Nico Bear. Now to Hess. Driving the baseline is Hazel. Out to the corner, steps out of bounds. No good, no shot attempt on the play for Folsom Lake. And Pardo will come in replacing Vinny Hurtado with under 5 minutes to play here. Vikings trailing by 5 in this early going.
We mentioned it in the earlier game, but the court's a little bit weird here, so we've seen that a couple times today where players just step out of bounds unknowingly and it causes turnovers.
Yeah, I call it home court advantage. Just like how the DJ's behind the bench during timeouts playing loud music, right?
Yep.
Left wing off the mark, offensive rebound brought in, flipping it up. Ben Tejas gets it off the O-board, flying through the hole. And a nice save from Michael Wood. It's not going to be an assist, but it's a hockey assist essentially, as Ben Tejas goes to the cup getting 7 points now, cutting the lead down to 3. Out to the corner, Rexford from 15 feet out, got a shot change. Tejas able to get the block from behind. Ball's knocked to the ground. Blowing air through his mouth is Curry as he sprints down the floor. In transition, spins around, low block right, Tejas! Back-to-back buckets. 9 points for Tejas and some beautiful feeds at that. 1 point lead now for Folsom Lake College, and a foul called against the Vikings on the far sideline near midcourt. That's the 5th foul on the Vikes since the first on DJ Evans.
The Vikings right there a little bit too overzealous, got a little bit out of position, and the Folsom Lake Falcons were able to drive in and force the foul on the late rotation.
Something to note, the Vikings were in the single bonus very early on into this first half of play, but in the last 6.5 minutes of play, Folsom Lake hasn't fouled. Vikings haven't been able to take advantage of that situation. 7 fouls on Folsom Lake, 5 fouls against the Vikings. And a sideline inbounds now for Logan Rexford. Hazel comes out, in comes back Jordan, trying to get a number, can't quite see it. It's 14, so it's Micah Hobson coming back in. Rexford over to Bear, left wing attempt, long rebound track down. Lorenzo Pardo gets it back over to his point guard, that's Kai Curry, bringing it across the stripe. Tejas from deep, short, trying to track down his rebound, but instead it's a push ahead over to Bear. Bear with the athletic attempt. Man, just flying down the wing. It looks like he left his feet about 17 feet from the basket, still had enough to scoop it up and in. 3-point lead with under 3 minutes to play. Rolling inside, Michael Wood. Nice assist from Tejas as Wood had the, I guess you can call it the Gracie open up as he flew down the lane with nobody in front of him. Fighting for the INT. Let's see who they call it against. It was Micah Hobson and DJ Evans fighting for that ball. And it will be the second against DJ Evans. I figure it would be something of the sort. That's the 6th foul against DVC. And Romeo Traylor will come in relief of DJ Evans, who has 2 fouls.
That foul really could have gone either way. It seemed like both players were coming to the ball as a play on the ball, and unfortunately went to DJ Evans.
Yeah, it's like a wide receiver and defensive back just jumping up. You're both playing the ball.
So it's up to the ref at that point.
Yeah, exactly. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. 1 point deficit for the Vikings here as Folsom Lake has fought back in the latter part of this first half. Nice rotation, the basket, and the opportunity to go to the line. Davis Jr. has got 6 points, and he'll see if he can make it a 3-point play the old-fashioned way at the stripe.
That's one of the tough areas when running a zone defense. Good passing usually breaks it, and right there, Folsom was able to enter it into the post, and we're late on the rotation from Michael Wood.
3 missed free throws in a row for Allen Davis Jr. after knocking down his first 2, and it's still a 3-point lead. From the D of the DVC Vikings midcourt logo, elevating from 15 feet out, gets the kiss off the back of the iron and finds the bottom of the net. Kai Curry's got 4. Vikings putting on a little bit of a shell of a half-court press here, and Traylor nearly gets the interception along the far sideline as they tried to thread the pass to Miko Bear, but knocked out of bounds, and now will be an inbounds from the hash mark for Logan Rexford. Finds a man wide open to the quarter, steps inside, it's Jordan Hess off the mark. Rebound brought in, but stolen away. And a foul, insult to injury. Ben Tejas, you can feel a little bit of fatigue coming by his way. He secured the rebound, but got his cookies taken underneath the basket by Michael Hobson and sends Hobson to the free throw line after fouling him. Micah Hobson, a 76% free throw shooter, didn't play in the last game, but has had some quality minutes in this early going. Hobson misses the first. The freshman wing standing 6'3", 186 out of Sacramento, California. Second attempt here. Up and in. Hobson, 1 for 2. That's his first points of the game. Averages 8.8 points per game. Mo Wilson comes back in relief. As Kai Curry, who's been doing a lot of sprinting in this early going, will get a breather. Mo Wilson fouled as he drove down the middle of the floor. And the only man to take the 1-on-1 opportunity will have another opportunity. Mel Wilson missed the front end of a 1-on-1 earlier, so having an opportunity to try to tie things up at 30 if he's able to knock down both of these. A deep breath as Mo Wilson has his dreads braided up into a little bit of a bun today. I don't want to call it a high ponytail, but it's something of that, that style. First free throw in. Second free throw. Fills the cup once more. Mo Wilson's back-to-back free throws on the 1-and-1 will result in a 30-30 game at the 145-minute mark, and Mo Wilson with the steal. Pardo streaking ahead. Pardo left-handed up the glass, too strong. Miko Bear changed his shot as he came back on defense. And now Tariq Ali. Tariq, first basket for him. Flying down the lane, caught the Vikings off guard. Transition to transition, and now a transition 3 from Tejas. Davis Jr. with the rebound. Ball's tipped out of bounds off the fingertips of Logan Rexford. And the Vikings trying to answer the call once more. 32-30, Folsom Lake leads with 1:18 remaining in this first half of play.
Folsom Lake, you could see that they really want to get out in transition. Didn't really work right there, but the previous play, they were able to get the lay-in, and yeah, they really just want to push the pace.
Vinny Hurtado comes in for the Vikes once more, and Hurtado calls his own number. Vinny Hurtado from the top of the key. 18-foot jumper is true. Hurtado doesn't take too many shots, so it's good to see him work with confidence there. Davis Jr. fouled on the shot attempt. Vikings fortunate it wasn't an and one there. So at the 50.8 minute mark, Ben Tejas, or second mark I should say, Ben Tejas picks up his second foul, and he'll send Allen Davis Jr. to the line. First free throw off the mark. 9 fouls against the Vikings, 8 against Folsom Lake.
Folsom Lake's missed some opportunities here at the free throw line. It seems like every single trip they've at least gone 1-and-1, let alone missed 2 free throws.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the players have, but Allen Davis Jr. has really struggled here. And he misses both the free throws. He's getting another attempt, though. I'm unsure what this is all about.
Seems to be maybe a lane violation happened while we weren't paying attention.
So after 5 straight free throw misses, Davis Jr. extends the lead to 1. 45.9 seconds remaining. Hurtado got the pink and purple kicks on today. Over to Tejas with 15 seconds left to work. Pardo sprung open, a wide open 3. Oh, couldn't get the drop. Davis Jr., I don't have the official stat, but it feels like he's got 7 or 8 rebounds in this early going. And with just about a 1 second shot clock, game clock difference, it looks like Folsom Lake College will feel free to wind the clock all the way down and not give the Vikings an opportunity to add it once more. Nico Bear down the left side of the wing, loses the handle for a moment, finds Rexford. Rexford from 15 out, misses the shot. And no shot attempt on the other side as there was no time left on the clock. So at the end of the first 20 minutes of play, Folsom Lake College 33, DVC 32. The Vikings took the advantage of this early going as they led by as many as 7, but Folsom Lake came back, they took the advantage, and it's been a really tight-knit game since that point. Let's get you some stats across. We'll start with the Falcons. 4 points for Hazel, 2 points for Indelicio, 2 points for Tariq Ali, 7 points for Logan Rexford. Allen Davis Jr. has 7 points, but man, he's already taken 7 free throw attempts on the night. 1 point for Micah Hobson, and Miko Bear, the leading scorer for the Falcons tonight. 10 points throughout the first 20 minutes of play. On the other side, Kai Curry's got 4 points alongside the 2 free throws from Mo Wilson. 2 free throws from Lorenzo Pardo. Ben Tejas leads the Vikings with 9 points. 2 points for Vinny Hurtado on that very nice looking outside jumper. Michael Woods got 8 points as he had a moment where he started to really find his groove. DJ Evans with 3 and Elijah Keys with 2. And that sends us to the break. Vikings shorthanded, missing Cole Webster, missing Marshawn Smith. But they are in the thick of it against the Falcons of Folsom Lake College throughout the first 20 minutes of play. Back on the other side of the break here on DVC Vikings Live. 2 minutes left in the halftime break, and we are back here on the floor as both teams are warming up for the second half. It's a 1-point lead, 33-32. Folsom Lake College has the advantage over the Vikings here at this point. Max Agrest joined alongside Ryan Shell here. In the second half of this doubleheader, the Vikings women's team lost to the number 8 team in the state to start off the night, and the Vikings men's team are trying to get the victory over the Falcons in this home opener in Big 8 play. Coming to this one, 2 teams towards the bottom of the Big 8, but it's very early. Vikings 0-1 after dropping their first matchup to Sacramento City College, one of the hottest teams in the state, 13-1 currently. And Folsom Lake College off a 2-loss streak. They lost to Santa Rosa at Santa Rosa and lost to San Joaquin Delta at home, 72-67. But Folsom Lake has looked pretty good tonight. They missed some shots on the outside. They had a few good-looking shots dropped by Miko Bear and Rexford in particular. But what the Vikings need to do is they got to stop fouling so much. Theoretically, I believe they only had 9 fouls in the first half, but a lot of those were shooting fouls. And fortunate enough, Allen Davis Jr. only was able to make 3 of the 7. It would be a whole different game if he was able to make more.
Yeah, between the free throws and the offensive rebounds from Allen Davis, it's just been really hard for DVC to gain any sort of traction down low. What they are doing well, I think, is pressure defense on the perimeter. They are forcing some turnovers and getting some good transition looks. But also on the other end, they are having some turnover issues and aren't necessarily getting exactly the type of execution they want from their half-court offense.
Yeah, and you can see the presence of Marshawn Smith and Cole Webster changed a lot. The Vikings got into foul trouble with their bigs early on in Michael Wood and Elijah Keys, and they had to rely on some of the smaller lineups. And with those smaller lineups, it changed the shot attempts and really forced a lot of the pressure inside for some of the smaller guards that were cutting. I mean, a few different times I can think of, it was Kai Curry getting inside and having the ball knocked away. I mean, a really terrific block with Davis Jr. over Ben Tejas as he was trying to cut inside. Without that presence, really sucking some gravity going one way or another, it's been difficult. I want to see some guys like Lorenzo Pardo, who's standing right in front of us, start to get his game going. He's had a few good-looking opportunities from outside the arc tonight, but hasn't got them to drop. But a couple free throws, maybe that gets him going here in the first half, or in the second half, I should say. And the clock didn't start properly as Lorenzo Pardo inbounds it. So the 5 on the floor to start the half. It's Pardo alongside Kai Curry, Ben Tejas, Michael Wood, and Elijah Keys, the 2 big look back on the floor for the Vikes. On the other side, it's Hess, Rexford, Bear, Davis Jr., and Indelicio, starters on both sides in. Opportunity to take a 3. Pardo doesn't take it. Instead, a lob over to the mid-post. And no attempt there by Michael Wood. Kai Curry working past his defender. The floater inside, misses it short, and a foul on the floor. Let's see if it's in the action of shooting. Foul go against Miko Bear. That's his first. And I believe it will be a shot attempt called for Michael Wood. So Wood with 8 points going to the free throw line for the first time tonight. Wood, a 57% free throw shooter. Hasn't missed a free throw in his limited attempts in Big 8 play so far, though. Wood with the black Jordans on his feet tonight. Sets up, fires away, and misses the first. Steve Cochimilio in the house, looking down on Steve Cochimilio court. One of the officials talking to us earlier as Wood splits the pair, getting his 9th point. Saying royalties in the building, and that's exactly it. After all the success that Coach Emilio has, you got to give him some love every time he shows up to the building. Jordan Hess to handle. Back over to Miko Bear. Now Davis Jr. resets to Rexford. Indelicio to Hess. Hess sets up for a 3, doesn't take it though. Now a better looking attempt inside. That was Davis Jr. And I like the idea of fouling Davis Jr. instead of giving him a wide open shot, but if you're Keys in the situation, you got to know this is your 3rd foul. You're not going to get much playing time if you keep fouling.
It's really tough. It seems like Davis just has a knack for just getting under the basket, wide open, great positioning. He hasn't been able to necessarily finish on some of the free throws, as he does there, but the idea that you could only feel like you could only foul him to render it a success it's tough.
second free throw changed the form a little bit in those last few attempts, and he's knocked down his last 3 free throws, I should say, after missing 5 straight. Instead of having a little lean and shoot, he's been going on top of his toes. Ball knocked away from Keys. Kai Curry able to get it back. Feeding Keys, and Keys. It was a clean block over the top as Miko Bear just gasping, saying, how? But I think it was the body contact underneath that they called on the foul.
Really good hands there from Keys. Lost the ball a little bit, but was able to pick up the tough dump-off pass from Curry in the lane and got fouled.
6 for 7 from the free throw line last game, and it continues his perfect streak. Man, Keys has been so clutch. One of the key reasons why the Vikings were able to come back and make it a game against COS in that second half. Joey Aguilar in the building alongside some Vikings football alum. Good to see the Vikings come back. We had a few different players here, and I wasn't able to quite see, but I believe it was all the Division I guys coming back supporting their men's basketball team. Aguilar, of course, coming off that historic victory for Appalachian State in the Cure Bowl in the hurricane that was going on in Charlotte. And man, success from the field going up into the big-time level. If I'm not mistaken, Aguilar finished his first year over at App State 5th in NCAA in passing touchdowns, right behind some of the top dogs that go into the draft. So happy to see him show some success on the field here and up in the mountains of Appalachia as well. On the other side of the floor, it's Rexford missing the corner 3. High flying Michael Wood comes in for the carom. And now Tejas down the right side of the floor, spinning around inside of the post from the mid post, goes up, needs some help, flips it ahead. It's over to Kai Curry with 20 seconds remaining. Tied up game at 35 apiece after Keys made both those free throws last time around. Michael Wood slashing to the hole, trapped underneath the basket with 7 seconds left. Throws it over to Curry. Curry, not much of a three-point shooter, has to cut. Curry driving to the hole, pulls up from the right elbow. Curry, good. When you hear the name Curry, you expect three-point shooting, but man, the inside game operating in tight windows is what Kai Curry's all about, and able to do so in some clutch seconds there. First lead for the Vikings since just about the 10-minute mark of the first half there, as they have the 37-35 advantage as Miko Bear works around the perimeter. Pulling up from the short left wing, curls out, Pardo with the board. Down the floor now, Curry. Flipping ahead, a transition 3. And Tejas, you gotta expect that one to go down. 12 points for Tejas now.
Tejas always ready to shoot, hands up, in transition, doesn't matter.
And Delicio to Hess. And now Rexford, a transition triple of his own. And Rexford knocks down a second 3 of the game. A 51.4% three-point shooter, man. Doesn't take too many attempts, but when he takes them, good-looking attempts. Tejas trying to answer with the triple of his own. Keys tracking it down, the rebound nearly, but is still in the other side as the reverse is missed by Michael Wood. Wood, a flip up from point-blank range, and Woods into double digits now with 11. Keys tried to get the rebound. It was Davis Jr. who got it, but turned it over. And then on the second attempt, as Wood flexes his right foot after coming back on defense, ball stolen away off the entry pass over to Davis Jr., and Woods behind the play. Hopefully the coaches see that. Turnaround 360, left it short. Mid-range game isn't necessarily going for Ben Tejas, as he's got nearly all of his points from beyond the arc tonight. Seems like Wood will fight through what seems to be a left foot that's ailing him right now. Floater inside, left it short. Wood able to get it off the missed shot from Bear. And now the Vikings, I mean, it just seems like Curry's moving at a different speed. He's so far down the floor in just a matter of seconds. Trying to work his way across the basket. Keys knew he left that short. You can feel the roar underneath the basket as the Vikings have a 42-38 lead here with 16 minutes remaining in the second half. Rexford doesn't take a 3, instead works past 2 different defenders. 2 Vikings get caught up from underneath, and the Vikings fortunate that no wide open shot attempt was taken there. Hess doesn't give the ball from the screen, and out to the corner. A contested 3-point shot by Rexford as Keys gets the rebound. Curry, the crossover. Curry, low block right. Curry wills it in. 8 points for Kai Curry. Vikings building on their lead here, 44-38. Mid-range jumper is true. Davis Jr. from 15 feet out gets the basket a drop. And the first time out of the second half here taken by Folsom Lake, 44-40. The Vikings have taken at the lead after trailing by 1 here in the second half of play. 15-18 remaining here in the second half on DVC Vikings Live. (15-18) remaining here. Vikings with the 4-point advantage over the Falcons of Folsom Lake College, 44-40 after trailing 33-32 at the half. A timeout taken after a made 15-footer. And a substitution in now. So the 5 on the floor will be Hess Rexford alongside Allen Davis Jr. in Delicio. And coming back in is Hobson for the Falcons. Ben Tejas has the ball now for the Vikings. 16 seconds left. Keys over to Pardo. Pardo cuts over to Curry. 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Vikings need to get a shot up here behind the back. Doesn't take the 18-foot jumper, or pardon me, it was just about a 17-foot jumper as Curry turns the ball over, trying to find Ben Tejas on the wing.
Curry didn't really get stuck in the air there, but same kind of concept. He got lost trying to shoot a shot, wasn't there, threw it out of bounds.
Vikings with Wood playing the defense. Trapped inside of the corner was Micah Hobson. And Hobson on the third foul from Wood will go to the free throw line. Hobson 1 for 2. His only point has come from the stripe tonight.
Tough defensive matchup right there for Wood on the wing. Hobson a little bit faster than him, was able to get the first step, and he wasn't able to slide and recover and got the foul.
First free throw of the set. In for Hobson. And Micah Wood and Kai Curry will get a breather. A little bit of a smaller lineup now. Tallest player on the floor for the Vikes is Elijah Keys at 6'4". Second free throw rims out. 2 points now for Hobson. 13 free throws taken by Folsom Lake College tonight. DJ Evans gets right to his spot. And Evans, when you leave him alone from the wing, he'll make you pay. 47-41. And Delicio doubled. Vikings putting on a heavy ball pressure now. Finding the lane to get to Hobson. Hobson elevates, double clutches, and gets his first basket of the game. Hobson, the freshman out of Sacramento, averages 8.8 points per game, and he's got 4 at the 14-minute mark of the second half. Then Tejas defers over to DJ Evans. A handoff back over to Tejas with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Dribbling inside, trying to work the post. Flips it over to Pardo. Pardo with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Pardo slashes down the left side of the wing. Pardo with the runner and the flip shot in. First made basket for Lorenzo Pardo. Only other 2 points came from the free throw line. And a nice looking attempt from number 5 in gray. 6-point lead for the Vikes now. And Delicio without, I don't think they're going to call it a made basket. I think they're going to call the foul on the floor. And Keys will pick up the foul. So Keys will pick up his 4th. That is a big foul on the Vikings as Romeo Traylor will get some burn now. Traylor, the 6'4", 215 sophomore from Clayton Valley Charter, played some quality minutes in Big 8 play last year for the Vikes. Hasn't really gotten too much burn in the early going of the season. Inbounds passes, the Vikings have 4 fouls. And it's Davis Jr. settling for a 15-footer, misses the shot. Offensive rebound by Hobson, and Hobson leaves it short with 6 seconds left. The shot clock should reset as the ball did hit the rim there, though. Unfortunate. It looked like Hobson hopped over the back of Tejas and nearly elbowed him in the top of the head. So fortunate for Tejas not taking any contact there.
DVC's really having to focus on getting positioning against the rebounders for Folsom Lake.
And Folsom Lake just has the size there as a foul will be the 3rd called against Tejas. Tejas has been trapped in that position, switching against one of the bigs underneath. And if you look at the differential in the free throws, all of them have come from the bigs. Davis Jr. has taken 9. Hobson going to the line to shoot his 5th and 6th free throws now. All the free throws taken by those 2 players. First free throw in. Hobson has split the set each time so far tonight. He's got 5 points. Fires away, making both of them on his 3rd set. That's a 45-point game here at the 13-minute mark with the Vikings with the lead. Joaquin Battle coming to the scorer's table for Folsom Lake. Benteas turns around, fires the 3 ball. A little too long as Hess gets the board. Hazel avoids the defender and then pulls up from the short left wing. Tyson Hazel with 6 points. And that cuts the Vikings lead to 2. 12:35 remaining. Folsom Lake making a push here in the intermediate part of the second half. 49-47 the score on DVC Vikings Live. Remember the 10th annual poker tournament taking place on February 3rd. $40 to attend, $75 to play, $20 rebuys. First place taking home $500, second place taking home $250, third place taking home $200. Search up eventbrite.com and go look up DVC Vikings for your opportunity to come play and join us on a fun fundraiser. Benteas on the floor, dribbling. Inside of the post, it's over to Traylor. Traylor clearing some space inside, very high off the glass, hit the very top of the stanchion, and the first points for Romeo Traylor come at the 12-13 minute mark, giving the Vikings a 4-point advantage here. Giving up a lot of size inside, but Traylor, all heart as we know. Nicknamed Chaos for a reason. Flying in, good defense, but better offense as Indelicio averages 14 points per game. Gets his second bucket here as Traylor tries to answer with back-to-back buckets, but too strong of a defensive position for Davis Jr. Joaquin Battle pulls up from the right elbow. Off the mark, offensive rebound. It's Indelicio. He'll step back and call a set play, trailing by 2. Rotating around the perimeter, Hobson. It's Tyson Hazel elevating from the left elbow. Traylor with the board. A strap flew off of his knee brace there as he came up for the rebound. 5 on the floor for the Vikings. It's Vinny Hurtado, Lorenzo Pardo, DJ Evans, Traylor, and Benteas. At the 11-minute mark here, Tejas with a nice nifty crossover, loses the handle for a moment. Vikings able to get the ball back. DJ Evans swings it back over to Tejas with 5 seconds left. Tejas with the crossover. Tejas with the hard screen, goes over the right elbow. He's blotted out. Good defense by Folsom Lake. Got the shot up. One at the foul was Tejas. He's talking to the officials there. 10:45 remaining. In transition, a travel called against Joaquin Battle. The 5'11 guard from Folsom. Too much cha-cha. And now, interesting look here. Isaiah Pullen, the freshman from College Park, hasn't played, or actually played last game against Sacramento City College, but this is only going to be his 8th game of the year. So with some injuries going around, the Vikings digging deeper into their bench for some good activity from some different players. So the 5 on the floor for the Vikes: Kai Curry, Romeo Traylor, Michael Wood, Pullen alongside DJ Evans. And on the other side, it's Tyson Hazel, Micah Hobson, and Indelicio alongside Nico Bear and Battle. Wood with 15 seconds left, spins around, gets the shot off the glass, perfect post move for Michael Wood. 13 points for the big inside for the Vikes.
Yeah, really good post hook right there. Was able to get positioning down low and put soft touch on the hoop.
Bear to Indelicio. 5 tight braids hanging off the back of his head as Tyson Hazel. And the rotation will go back around to Indelicio. Cross-court pass. Deep 2-point shot. And inhaling the rebound was Michael Wood there. Snatched that ball down. And Kai Curry tries to set him up on the other side of the floor. Has the switch with Indelicio on him. Trailer working inside the mid-post. Out to the corner. Pull in for 3. Pull in. Pulls down the triple. 3 for 7 on the year is pulling from deep. And a huge basket for the reserve from the Vikings. 49-56. Vikings have the advantage here and have built some momentum. Vikings playing a terrific job on the perimeter there and not giving any opportunities. And a lapse in judgment allows a 3-point shot from Battle. And Joaquin Battle, the 42% 3-point shooter, answers the triple from the Vikings on the other side. Curry out to the corner. Back-to-back threes. This time it's DJ Evans. DJ Evans has been averaging about 6 shots per game, and every single one of them goes from beyond the arc. That's his 3rd triple of the night, right on pace. Double clutches underneath the basket as Hobson throws it over the hoop. And the Vikings, with a 7-point lead, trying to extend into double digits for the first time tonight, inside of 10 minutes to play at the 8:30 mark. Isaiah Pullen over to Kai Curry. Nearly slips for a moment. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Vikings need to start their offense here. 7 seconds left. Throws it over to Trailer. Trailer gets to point blank range. And Romeo Trailer with his 4th point on a nifty clearing move inside of the post. 9-point lead for the Vikes. Battle pump fakes from 3. Instead he finds Hazel. Hazel from the corner. No good. Another carom brought forth by Michael Wood.
DVC right now has all the momentum. Let's see if they can get another good offensive execution here like they have the past 2 possessions.
Don't have rebounds tracked, but off the top of my head, I believe that is the 8th rebound by Michael Wood. So double-double territory for Wood. Inside of 8 minutes to play. Wood from the baseline. Wood inside of the mid-post. Wood with the turnaround. Too strong, fighting for it. Last touch off of Wood as Micah Hobson that did a good job fighting for that ball.
Seems like DVC right now is trying to attack the mismatches, especially in the post. You saw right there, they got it down the Wood. And even throughout the game, they've been just trying to focus on that low post and then be able to kick it out, especially to the corner threes.
Rotation here as it's Battle, Hazel joining Micah Hobson. And the 2 left on the floor, Rexford and Allen Davis Jr. coming back in. Vikings with a 9-point lead, looking to extend it, but they need to stop here if they want that chance. In the corner, it's Battle for 3, offensive rebound, Hobson. Inside, Tyson Hazel, ball swatted away. Pullen gets it off the ricochet, and the steal from DJ Evans. Evans sprinting down the near side of the floor as Curry trails him. Curry inside, fouled on the floor. That's only the 3rd foul of the half on Folsom Lake. They got into foul trouble very early on, but really haven't fouled much since. First foul goes against Joaquin Battle. Curry from the right side of the baseline to trigger. It's Pullen. Pullen off the mark this time. It looked like his shot was changed. It was a flat one that went straight into the hands of Davis Jr. And Davis Jr.'s got to be in double territory tonight now as well. Still a 9-point advantage. Rexford trying to cut in that lead. Squats to the ground as Michael Wood clears another. Been stuck at 9 for the last 2.5 minutes or so now. But if you're the Vikings, you'll take it. You've got the advantage. The clock is your friend. Michael Wood for 3. Off the mark. Michael Wood doesn't take too many 3-point shots. Only 2 for 10 on the year. He's 2 for 11 now. He can knock down the deep ball, but he needs to be set up in the right position to do so.
If you're DVC right now, you don't want to get too complacent with this 9-point lead. It's the most you've had all game, but you still want to do the things that have been working for you.
At the 6:24-minute mark, Elijah Keyes will check back in with 4 fouls, but before we have an opportunity to go there, we'll have another timeout. Stoppage in play brings the stoppage of this broadcast for just a moment. 61-52 at the 6:24-minute mark on DVC Vikings Live. Tenth annual poker tournament coming on February 3rd. It's the Vikings Athletics main fundraiser here, so come along and join us. $40 to attend, $75 to play, $20 to buy in. All you can eat and drink, $500 for first place, $250 for second. Third place takes home $200. Go to eventbrite.com and search DVC Poker. Back on the floor for the Vikings here as they have this 9-point lead at the 6:20-minute mark. And Hobson, alongside Hazel, has the ball for the Falcons. Battle has played a lot in the second half. Hobson feeding inside, elevating high for the shot. It was Davis Jr., but he misses it, no foul. Kai Curry, no-look pass over the left corner. And Tejas called for a travel. The no-look pass went a little wide. The foot was set for Tejas, and he had to pick it up, take a big 1-2. Good call by the official there. And just a little bit too much swagger for your own good for Curry. Curry, Keys, alongside DJ Evans, Ben Tejas, and Lorenzo Pardo. Those are 5 on the floor for the Vikes. We'll get you the 5 for Falcons in just a moment. Rexford spun around inside the baseline. Perimeter passing. It's over to Hobson. Hobson. The 3 rattled along the rim for about 3 dribbles before falling out. Vikings fortunate there. A little bit of a soft rim on the left side of the floor tonight. Nice handles by Kai Curry. Clearing some space. Feed inside. Keys crosses the lane. A nice dish from Tejas and a better looking finish from Keys. 7 points for Elijah. Hazel over to Hobson. Now to Battle. The last 2, as we're already at it, it's Rexford and Davis Jr. And now Hobson cuts down open down the lane. And Hobson with the hoop. 63-54. Vikings have the advantage. Kicking out to the corner. And the shot clock didn't reset. It threw off everybody just a little bit as DJ Evans misses the 3 from the corner. And the Vikings still have that 9-point lead after getting into double digits for just a moment. Hazel over to Davis Jr., the double clutch, and the high flyer inside for the layup. 13 points now, the leading scorer for Folsom Lake College, Davis Jr.
Back-to-back possessions right there where Folsom Lake didn't settle for a long jump shot, and they were able to convert on the closer shot towards the hoop.
And Ben Tejas trying to do it all himself as he goes coast to coast and is met at the summit. Ball knocked out of bounds. He'll stay with the Vikings. Hobson, who just had that ball, or who knocked that ball away, I should say, is replaced by Nico Bear. Long inbounds pass goes to Pardo. Pardo finds the cutting Tejas. Tejas gets inside, gets the contact, and gets the bucket. Ben Tejas, 14 points, going to line across the tee on the 3-point play. And that's the 2nd foul against Davis Jr., 4th foul on Folsom Lake.
Perfect execution right there by DVC. Ben Tejas been hitting threes all night. Showed one way, cut backdoor, and just this is the second time today where Pardo's just had that perfect pinpoint backdoor pass, and Tejas this time able to finish through the contact.
And you can see it with the upper body fake from Tejas as well, clearing out that space. The hips don't line, but Tejas really selling that upper body. Rattles in the free throw. Tejas, leading scorer for the Vikes with 15 points now. And Tejas 2 for 2 from the line. 10-point lead for the Vikes here, under 4 minutes to play over the Falcons. Bear swings it to Hazel. Now it's Battle after the corner for Rexford. Just using all of his size and the advantage there for Davis. 15 points now for Davis. 2 leading scorers at 15, Tejas and Davis. Quick low to the ground dribbles here. Kai Curry using his height to an advantage in that case. And another corner 3, DJ Evans, no good. And another board corralled by Allen Davis. It looks like Evans isn't really necessarily the most comfortable from that right corner, despite the fact that it's a little bit of a shorter shot. It seems like all his threes are made from the wing. A 3-point attempt from Bear, and Bear, who got an early 3-point attempt, or 3-point shot to drop, misses it. And a board and a putback. It's been the Davis Jr. game here in the last part of the second half, and it's a 6-point lead for the Vikings now, as back-to-back buckets from Allen Davis Jr., the sophomore from Sacramento, able to cut it down. Under 3 minutes to play in the second half, and they'll send us to another break here on DVC Vikings Live. Under 3 minutes to play, the Vikings had a 10-point advantage, an 11-point advantage at 1 point here in the early goings, or the latter part, I should say, of the second half. But under 3 minutes to play, Folsom Lake College still continuing to make this a game. Vikings needing to execute here to close this one out. And a timeout taken by the Vikings as Pardo wasn't able to find an open man, so we'll keep it here. So, I want to ask you, Ryan, what did the Vikings do well in that last little segment to open up the double-digit lead, and how has the adjustment from Folsom Lake College been to allow them to come back into this one?
Well, DVC, to kind of open up that lead, they were able to push in transition, they gain rebound. Folsom Lake was getting more offensive rebounds during the first half. Second half, DVC's been able to clean that up. And for Folsom Lake coming back, it's just really been their attention to detail on just little execution, getting good post position, and Davis Jr. balling.
Yeah, balling indeed. Vikings able to get the inbounds pass over to Kai Curry. So Pardo, Curry, Tejas, Wood, and Keys. Those are the 5 for the Vikes. Hazel's been doing a good job staying in front of Curry tonight, but man, Curry really showing off his handles in this game. Ball knocked away, out of bounds. Last touch, Davis Jr. Vikings will inbound it from the sideline with 11 seconds to shoot. Pardo will be the trigger once more. Pardo wearing the white tights. Over to Tejas, lobs inside. Keys with the reverse, a difficult shot. And another carom by Davis. 6-point lead. Bear doesn't settle for a 3 despite having the opportunity. And now Hazel and his orange creamsicle kicks will lob it over to Battle. Davis Jr. fighting his way inside. The hook shot from 12 feet out, no good. D board swallowed by Tejas. Under 2 minutes to play here. Vikings still holding out to that 6-point advantage. They've had the 6-point advantage for the majority of the second half. Lorenzo Pardo calling the set down low with his left hand. Over to Tejas with 6 seconds to shoot. Tejas working off the screen. Tejas with the floater, the 15-footer out, hits the board, offensive board by Elijah Keys, and trying to kick it to the corner was Rexford, who got the INT. Nico Bear to a cutting battle, leaves it short. Keys with another key rebound there. And the opportunities are dwindling here as Folsom Lake trails by 6, and the Vikings just keep getting stop after stop after stop.
Vikings want to use clock here, take as much time as they want with only 1:14 left in the game.
Pardo will start the set at 12. 8 seconds left to shoot. You can feel the frustration from Irv Anderson. Vikings fling it over to Michael Wood. 15-footer for Wood, no good. And another one hauled in by Davis. Under 1 minute to play here. Vikings with the 6-point advantage. It's Rexford, not settling for a 3, instead defers, gets a better looking shot. Rexford leaves it short. And the Vikings likely putting this one on ice as soon as they cross the timeline. They'll have to take one more shot attempt. And a foul in the process, and honestly a good foul. With so little fouls called here in the second half though, both teams still pretty far away from the bonuses. Vikings will actually call a timeout, not a foul. So we'll just continue to keep it here with with just 33 seconds left to play. So not official the stat line here, but we'll give you some stats. Hazel with 6 points in the Alicia with 4. Tariq Ali only 2 points on the night. Logan Rexford has really performed well in the early going. He's got 10 points alongside the leading scorer, Davis Jr., who has 17, 9 free throw attempts on the night. And really the Vikings haven't given them any opportunities in probably like the last, I would say, 10 minutes to shoot free throws, and that's part of the reason why they were able to build up that lead. Micah Hobson has 8 points, 10 points for Miko Bear, who got a lot of that in the first half, and Joaquin Battle only has 1 3-point shot tonight. Trailers got 4 points and some big minutes coming in, replacing some bigs that were in foul trouble, so Romeo giving some quality minutes for the Vikings tonight. Kai Curry with 8 points, Mozo Wilson with 2 on that one-on-one opportunity in the first half. Lorenzo Pardo with 4, Ben Tejas, leading scorer for the Vikings with 15, Vinny Hurtado 2 points, Isaiah Pullen checked in for a quick little segment here, had 2 3-point attempts and knocked down one of them, so good looking shot from the freshman out of College Park. And now the Vikings with the trigger get over to Keys, and Keys is fouled on the play. Still only the 5th foul by Folsom Lake, and as I close it out, it'll be Hurtado with 2, Pullen with 3, Michael Wood with 13, and we'll likely try to get Michael Wood on the broadcast for an interview after this play. Or after this game, I should say. DJ Evans with 9 points, continuous trend of 3 3-point shots made in the last 3 games. And Keys, last Viking there with 7. Second foul on that inbounds pass here. Only 2.3 seconds off the clock. It's the 5th now against Folsom Lake. And it's the second foul called in the last 2 minutes, so it will actually send Keys to the free throw line. Keys 11 for 14. He's 2 for 2 on the evening. Settles himself, fires away the first. And Elijah Keys had a little bit of, didn't have much success from the line to start the year, really didn't get to the line very much. But since the last 2 or 3 games or so, man, he's been big. Elijah Keys has been knocking it down, getting the Vikings their earned money from the free throw line, as the second free throw is missed, but DJ Evans fouled on the attempt, so just as I gas him up, Keys misses it. And so now DJ Evans goes to the line, the 50% free throw shooter. Kai Curry alongside Pardo, Keys, Wood, and DJ Evans. Ben Tejas taking a seat here. Evans to shoot the 1-on-1. First free throws in. And so, if I'm not mistaken, this is his DVC high at 10 points now. So a nice little mark for DJ Evans here, as he gets his new DVC high at 11. 9-point lead for the Vikes. Hazel lobs ahead, one-handed rebound, or steal I should say, by Wood, but wasn't able to get the high pass, and it knocks out of bounds.
Yeah, Wood right there read the telegraph pass. Was able to get the tip.
Rexford to trigger. Over to Bear. Bear forcing a shot underneath, but shoved with the offside arm. And that'll be the 9th foul against Folsom Lake now. At the 21-second mark, Ben Tejas will come back in to close it out. Replacing a 56% free throw shooter with an 87% free throw shooter. Seems good to me. Pardo from the hash mark. Throws it ahead over to Keys. And Keys will have an opportunity to try to get 10 points now. 2 more shots from the free throw line. It's the 10th foul for Folsom Lake. And they'll play this one tough all the way through. And Delicio picks up his 3rd. Pardon me, I think it was actually Hazel who picks up his 3rd. And the first of the set is good for Keys. So a shorthanded Vikings team comes. They have to fight through some adversity after trailing by 1 in the early going. Keys misses the 6th attempt of the night, staying at 9 points now. And I believe it'll be a foul against Michael Wood, his 4th here, with under 20 seconds to play. Battle to sprint down the floor. It's Hazel, doesn't settle for a 3. Instead, the shot underneath, ball still up in the air after the missed shot, and Wood with another board, flipping it ahead over to Kai Curry. 6 seconds left, and the Vikings don't need to take another shot. 3, 2, 1, Vikings win! DVC gets to 5-9 on the year. Folsom Lake falls to 5-9, 0-3 in Big 8 play. DVC 1-1 in Big 8 play, getting their first victory of the year here. Or victory in Big 8 play in the year here. And I gave you the scores just a moment ago. Ben Tejas with 15 points will be the leading scorer for the Vikings. Elijah Keys unable to get to 10 points there. And so the Vikings did a really good job really closing this game out in the clutch moments. They had that 6-point lead for it seems like an eternity. But in the last few moments, they were able to get together, really take a deep breath, execute some good defense and some good offense, and come ahead with their with the first victory in Big 8 play.
Yeah, it was just really impressive game from the DVC Vikings. You know, didn't really go their way towards the end of the first half, but they were able to bounce back and really just continue to put the pressure on Folsom Lake and execute offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. So that'll send us to a little bit of a break, and we'll try to get Michael Wood on the broadcast here as he is our player of the game. Stay tuned for our interview in just a moment here on DVC Vikings Live. unofficially, you had 13 points tonight. So sorry, Marshawn, not 15, but 13.
Dang it.
But I wasn't tracking rebounds, but man, I almost guarantee you got a double-double tonight. How does it feel to really just?
Yes, sir.
You can just feel it.
It feels so good. I'm so tired of, of all the games where I felt like I couldn't, bring as much as I had to the table, and I felt like I brought a lot more tonight. And then just the whole team is just clicking in that second half. We all just came together. It was so nice to get a win in our conference.
And so early on in the game, you had an opportunity to run out the hoop. You saw Allen Davis Jr. right behind you, but you still threw it down with the one-handed hammer, man. You got a few dunks early on, but I bet you that one felt good.
That one's the hype of my career right there.
So, first victory in Big 8 play. You're going out to play Modesto before coming back for a couple different home games. How do you carry this momentum going forward? I mean, you've had some tough games in the last few out. Sacramento City College, a tough one, and the number 8 team in NorCal, and the COS, and that one came down to the wire. I mean, just getting over that hump and really starting to build that momentum going into Big 8 play. How does that feel?
Yeah, we felt good with College of Sequoia, where we only lost by a couple points, and they're a really good team, and we felt like pretty good coming up against them and putting in a good show. And now we came here, got the victory. We're on a good road to Modesto now.
There you go. Build on. The Vikings will take on Modesto at 3 p.m. on the 6th before coming back to take on ARC at the 9th and San Joaquin Delta on the 12th. So we got a lot of home games coming. I expect a lot more double-doubles out of you, sir.
Let's get it.
Appreciate
Go Vikings.
you. Thank you so much.